What's up, Sean? It's crooked. I think it'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. Alright, so I'm at UCLA and definitely way more students here than at UCR. It's obviously a way bigger school, more popular, the #1 public school, right? In Southern California. I don't even know, it might be nationwide. But yeah, point being is that there's definitely way more activity here, so hopefully we get more than just one conversation, right? But even if you just get one, you know, that's good enough, you know, so I wasn't gonna come out today, but didn't have any work today, so I figured might as well come, you know, come out and take advantage of the morning, a weekday morning, you know, because that's when you're gonna catch students at school. Obviously, Saturdays and Sundays, you know, classes are not in session, so yeah, here I am, here we are. So hopefully we have a good day, and yeah, can only hope for the best. So I definitely, obviously, what's up, Tampa? I definitely, obviously, do want to do this more often. You know, obviously, it's not easy. You know, especially when you live here in LA. It's one of the most expensive cities to live in. You know, it's just crazy. You know. What's up, man? How are you? Doing good, man. Doing good. You guys ready? I'm ready. All right. Cool. 2 very easy multiple choice questions. All right. So here we have 3 box trucks. They're completely sealed. They're all on a level surface, and they all have an apple hanging from a string. The only difference between these 3 trucks is that one is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
This is at rest.
Yes, you guys got it. How'd you guys know?
Because the ball's not moving.
Exactly.
First law of motion.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
pass.
Okay, which one's accelerating forward?
This one.
Okay, how'd you guys know that one's accelerating
Because
forward?
the ball is going backwards from the wind.
No, there's no wind
wind.
resistance.
It's inside
Exactly.
the box
Yes.
truck.
So what happens is when you accelerate the truck forward, the apple stays in its position in space because of inertia, and the truck basically moves towards the apple.
So the truck's moving.
Yes, not the apple.
the apple.
Exactly. You guys got it. Perfect. So the second one, pretty similar, but instead of an apple, it's a helium balloon inside. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
These still at rest.
Yes, and it's for the same reason as the first, because it's not moving,
But
it's vertical. Which one is accelerating forward?
This is a trick question.
Okay, look, I'm gonna help you guys out a little bit because most people do have a difficult time.
I know what it is.
So this is a buoyant object, right? The balloon is buoyant. So this is also a buoyant object. This is a ball that's in water. It's at rest right now. Obviously, it's vertical. I'm gonna accelerate it forward, and you pay
I think
attention.
it's
What
the
happens?
opposite of
Yeah,
that.
I think the helium's
Here we
gonna
go.
do opposite.
1, 2.
He goes forward.
It went forward.
All right.
You ever think about a helium balloon when
C
it
is
goes in, it
going.
moves.
So there's 2 reasons why this happens. Do you happen to know why?
Because the helium is about density.
Yes, less dense than the
Yeah,
air
it's
that's
less
inside.
dense.
Perfect. What's the second reason? Because you need a second reason. There's a second
It's
reason.
less dense and it is. I don't know.
So you need a force. So when I apply a force in this direction, all the air that's inside the truck is also being forced in that same direction. And because
it's
air,
less dense, it follows.
the air pushes the balloon in the direction of the force.
Okay, that
so
makes sense.
Yeah, so that happens with the water and air as well.
Okay.
So that's pretty simple. So I recreated this experiment in real life. So it's basically both questions in one. So give me 1 second.
You rented a truck?
Yes, a cargo van actually. Yeah, look, check it out.
Amazing.
There's a helium balloon and an apple inside. So based on the physics,
Look at that.
what direction did it accelerate this container or this
Look,
car?
it went forward.
It went to,
Yes, because the balloon follows the force.
Yes.
Right.
And the apple goes the other way. I love it.
Yes, so here's a bonus question. It looks like the apple and the helium balloon are moving away from each other, right? It looks like they're both moving away, but in reality, only one is moving through space. So out of the helium balloon and the apple, which one moved away from the other?
The helium balloon.
Helium.
Yes, the helium balloon moved away from the apple because the apple just stood in space.
Yep.
You know, you guys got it. Perfect. So one last question: if I have a helium balloon here on Earth and I release it, what direction does it go?
Oh, the helium goes down.
No, a helium balloon. If I release it,
It goes up.
Go up.
Yeah.
Go up.
And you
It
put
goes
it
up.
up in the
Exactly.
air, it goes up
You
to
let
the
it go
sky.
and it takes off.
exactly goes up. It
I
doesn't
thought
go
the
down.
helium were the ones that dropped.
No.
No, that's when we blow it up with
With air, with air. Okay, so there's two reasons why a helium balloon rises. Do you guys know why? It's pretty similar to the previous
It's
one.
gonna have something to
like
do
how-
with
It's
it.
lighter than oxygen.
Yes, that's the first reason.
Yeah.
What's the second reason?
How?
I don't know.
Oh, is it pressure?
It has to do with pressure,
Has
but
to do with-
it's actually a force, to be exact.
Okay.
Again, a
Okay.
helium balloon follows the force. So what happens when I release a helium balloon? It's the air that's pushing it up because it's more dense, right?
Got it, because it's lighter
Yes,
than
in-
oxygen.
So the air's
in
pushing it.
Yes, the air's pushing it up, exactly. But in this scenario, the truck generated the force to
Yes.
push the air to push the helium balloon.
Yes.
What's generating the force here on Earth to push the air up to be able to push up a helium
Gravity?
balloon? It is gravity, but I don't know if you guys knew gravity as a pulling force is just a theory. So it has never been proven or measured
Really?
or detected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a
I had
theory.
that.
So the
No, that. I thought that was
I actually knew that
proven.
one.
no, it's just a
That's
theory.
really fascinating. I had no idea. Gravity is quite.
A pulling force of gravity is a theory, but here's the fact: the force of the Earth is actually an upwards push, it's not a downwards pull. So the Earth is literally pushing up against you. It's not you being pulled down towards it.
Oh,
Really?
Yes. So the Earth is literally pushing up through space right now.
Where's
so
the
that's
rock?
the reality.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Here's the real reason why I'm doing this.
Physics, isn't that what he wants to
Yeah.
study?
So here's the thing. When I release something that's more dense in the air, this doesn't move down to the Earth. It's the Earth that comes up to meet it. And that's why there's no force that can detect this pushing it down or pulling it down,
Okay.
because it's the Earth that's constantly pushing up. So here's the real reason why I'm doing this.
Fascinating. Yeah.
Yes. You guys all believe the Earth is a ball, right?
Around, yeah.
Yeah. You guys understand that on a ball, up is relative. So if you're standing here, up is this way,
Yeah.
but if you're standing down here, up is this way,
Right.
In every direction away from the sun. If we could prove physically that the force of the Earth is an upwards push and not a downwards pull, how can the Earth push up in every direction at the same time if it was a ball?
It's a great question.
Don't know.
Yeah, in all directions and.
So the fact is that the Earth will have to be expanding. So it would just explode, it wouldn't work.
Does
So
it have anything to do with the atmosphere?
no, the atmosphere is subject to the force.
Understood.
Exactly. So again, because the atmosphere can't push itself.
Yeah.
It requires something external to
Right,
it.
right,
Exactly.
right.
So again, the fact is the Earth is not a ball. It's just an extended level plane, and it's only pushing up in one direction. So nobody's bending down beneath your feet. Everybody's just across the way. So that will be the number one proof to debunk the ball Earth is the fact that gravity is not a pull, it's an upwards push up here. And physics shows us that helium balloons go up because, yeah. So if I was to ask you guys respectfully,
Yeah.
why do you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
Around.
You can see the curve from where?
Space.
Okay, space. So you guys would say like images of the Earth?
Yeah.
I would say images of the Earth and other planets.
Okay, let's
You know,
go with
other than an
images.
asteroid,
Sure.
which is can be all the planets are more or less round.
Sure,
You know.
So these are official NASA images
Yeah.
of the Earth from outer space. This
Yeah.
is from 2002 and this is from 2012, but they admit they're composites. They're CGI, in other words. They're not real
Okay.
photographs. And they admit that, so that's not even up for debate. And if you ask me, it's because this image is impossible to get because it defies physics. So another place you're ever going to see curvature,
I really like this.
yes. So are you guys familiar with the wide angle lens? Like
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, it warps horizontal lines.
Yeah.
So if somebody's high altitude with like a high action camera, it's gonna warp the horizon.
Yes, it
but
is.
in reality, the horizon's always horizontal, regardless of altitude. So this is what the horizon looks like, 20 miles in the sky with no fisheye lens. So
Well, how-
Yeah, see, that's why it's
What
flat.
about if you were in Paris, France, and you decided to fly to Los Angeles? You can go left or right
Exactly.
and make it to Los Angeles.
yeah, because you can circumnavigate, in other words. Exactly. So
which would tell me it's round.
No. So I don't condone any map of the
Oh,
Earth
and
because
I'm-
nobody,
yeah,
nobody
absolutely.
knows the exact
Absolutely.
dimensions of the Earth. There's actually no exact map of the Earth that exists, actually.
Yeah.
And that's confirmed. So this is just just to clarify that
Yeah.
point. So if we were to just open up a globe,
Yep.
level it out, this
Yes.
is what it would look
Yep.
like.
Yep.
Right? So the north will be the center point. So
Yes.
if we're in LA right here and we go to France, which will be somewhere over here,
Yep.
you can go this way, which will be west,
Yes.
or this way, which will
Which
be
is
east.
east.
And basically, east and west are circles around a center point. Because, yeah. So that could work from a level Earth or a globe Earth. So that would improve either or.
Well, what do you believe?
I don't have beliefs about the objective world. I know that it's not a ball. I know that it's a level plane because physics shows me that. Again, the upwards push of the Earth being the number one that debunks the globe, because the globe Earth
Understood.
requires a pull.
I like it.
So,
You're putting science behind it.
yeah,
I like it.
Can I just give you the number 2 proof before you guys go
Yes,
real quick?
please.
Yes,
I love this.
So do you guys know the radius of the Earth by any chance?
I do not.
Okay, it's 3,959 miles,
Wow.
allegedly, because they supposedly have satellites orbiting the Earth.
Yes.
So they need to know the radius of orbit. So they
Yes.
need to know the radius of the Earth. But based on the radius of the Earth, and if we use a simple calculation like the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we can calculate for how much curvature there should be based on the radius they're giving us.
Yeah.
And it turns out that it should be 8 inches per mile squared. So in the first mile, there should be an 8-inch curve. Second mile, 32 inches. And by the third mile, there should be 6 feet of measurable curvature. How do we measure for that curve, right? There's a very easy way, actually. So
Okay.
if we went out to a giant lake that was 3 miles across, for example, and the water's at rest,
Yep.
the surface of that water is always going to be a horizontal surface.
Yep.
Because that's the physics of water when contained at rest. The surface always collapses and forms a level surface. That's
Yep.
what water level means.
Yep.
Exactly. They're trying to tell us that every lake on Earth is bending 6 feet in 3 miles, which is a physical impossibility, and 66 feet in 10 miles. So that curvature should be measurable, but in fact, it's not even there.
Doesn't that have to do with the physics, the molecules of water, where it fills in whatever space? So, for example, this
Yes.
water, if you were to dump it in a bowl,
Yes.
this, it would, or in a long pan,
Yeah.
it would be real shallow, but you'd have it's filling that pan. Do
Yeah,
you know what
it takes the shape of the container.
Correct.
But the surface always equalizes to form a horizontal.
Surface does.
And you can see that in any pool
Yeah.
and in any lake. The water doesn't have the physical ability to bend.
No.
Because that water doesn't have a shape. you
What
know?
would be the purpose of
Lying to us about
So-
the
yes.
So I
What
don't
could
know.
they get out of
I don't know because I'm not the one lying, but I can give you my theories.
Yes.
I think they're doing it to basically. I know it might sound like a little
No,
rough.
no, come on.
It's just to dumb down the population so that they're.
Well, they're
more easy-
definitely doing that. They're
Yeah, exactly.
There's facts that'll prove they're
So
dumbing
it's about
down through our
control.
school system.
Yes,
So
yes.
that is a fact. They are dumb. They are
Dumbing
our
down the
tests
pop-
and
yes.
our curriculum
Yes.
are not as strong as they once were in a lot of
Exactly. They don't
different
teach
fields.
the trivium anymore,
100%.
which is 100% is a way to discern information.
Absolutely.
So that's completely out of the school system.
love it.
And it's about controls. And it's about disconnecting us from our true nature and our purpose here on Earth.
Well, yeah, guys, can we thank the gentleman? Thank
Yes.
you. Hey, listen,
Yes.
thank you so
No
much.
worries.
Listen,
Thank you.
really
All right,
interesting.
All right, here, actually, I go to all the major universities here in Southern California.
Thank you.
And you can check that out inside of the 6 top proofs that debunk the globe, on top of the number 1 that the Earth is pushing up, not pulling down.
Listen, thank
Yeah.
you very much.
No,
very,
no,
very interesting.
No,
Appreciate
thank you,
it.
man. Appreciate
Have
it.
a great afternoon.
Yeah, you guys were great. Thank you.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah, thank you. You too. Oh man, that family was great to talk to. My God, the dad was so on point. My God, that was so good. I love that conversation. I wish all conversations could go like that. It sucks that they kind of had to go. They probably do have somewhere to be, but the fact that he was interested, from the get-go, shows that, it makes sense. There's nothing that he could deny. Obviously, that's what he asked. What will be the reason? Which I get it. I when I first came across this information, I maybe I asked that question. I don't remember, but why would they lie to us? What's the purpose, right? But it comes down to control at the end of the day. But yeah, that was a great conversation. But yeah, let me go ahead and put all this back. So, like I was saying earlier, I wish I could do this more often. Obviously, that's the goal. It's hard for me to do this, more consistently, because it's just hard. I have to work most of the week. I have to take a day off work to come out and do this. And it costs me, money to come out and do this. Parking's not cheap to be here, 3 hours, whatever. And then I have to drive over an hour to get here and over an hour back. So again, it's not cheap. It costs me money to come out here. On top of the fact that I have to take a day off work, and it's not easy, But I would love to do this more often, which, I thought about it a lot, and I decided, so for those that do want to contribute, that do want to support this channel, to support me coming out and do this, I'm going to put some links right now for people that would like to donate, to this cause, and basically kind of enable me to do this more often, hopefully in the future, And yeah, I don't know what else to say. You know, I'm having to put my ego aside to do this, because obviously I didn't want it to come to this. You know, obviously I wanted to do this, you know, on my own. But at the end of the day, it's not gonna just take one person to push this to the masses. I hate to say it. You know, it's gonna have to be a collective. You know, so again, for those of you that don't really have the time because you're working, you know, you have a 9 to 5, and would love to for this information to get pushed out to more people, you know, here's an opportunity for you to be able to help me out and do this more often. You know, because again, at the end of the day, my goal is to come out as much as I can. I'm still gonna do it regardless of how it goes, regardless whether people support or not. I'm still gonna do my best to come out and do this as much as I can. But obviously, if I do get support and people are showing that they would love for me to do this more, then obviously I will make the time to come out and do this, you know, at least once a week, you know, consistently. So I'm gonna post a couple of links here. Here we go. For those of you that would like to, again, contribute to this cause, you know, but don't have the time to, or maybe you live in a place where you're not able to push this out to a lot of people. Again, I'm in a very crowded city here in Los Angeles. Obviously, it's one of the major cities, and there's a lot of people to talk to here, millions of people. You know, I hope to go out and speak to like the average Joe as well, you know, going to different, you know, like malls and shopping centers, and just where a lot of people congregate, right? And I kind of did that in the beginning, and then I mainly just focused at universities after that, because, you know, you're always going to get a conversation out here, you know, and it's always great. So so here are the two links. Again, if you live in the States, you know, that's my Cash App. It's Level-Headed William. And for those of you that are international and would like to, you know, contribute, that's my PayPal. It's PayPal William Matias, at PayPal William Matias. So again, even just helping me out with parking and gas, you know, that'd be great. Again, I'm not expecting anything, to be fair, you know, but again, for those of you that would like to contribute and would like to see more of this kind of content and me going out and speaking to people, you know, this is a way you can support. Again, nobody else is doing this. I would not go, you know, through these avenues if more people were, you know, more active and pushing this out. You know, I wouldn't feel the need to, because there's more people doing it. You know, so me doing it once a month will be good enough, right? But the fact is, it's been 10 years, over 10 years, and I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing people pushing this out to the public or speaking to new people. I see a lot of controlled opposition sitting in echo chambers, talking to the same people over and over again, misrepresenting the facts, just talking a lot of shit, you know, and I'm not okay with that, you know. You know, I want this to get pushed out to real people in the real world, because this is the kind of conversations you actually get in the real world with real honest people. I'm not saying that everyone is honest with themselves, but at least, you know, they're able to take the information and I'm right in front of them to, like, you know, answer any questions that they may have, or any, you know, misconceptions that they may have heard. So this is the best way to push this information out, is to go out and speak to real people, because just rehashing the same information and uploading the same videos every time is not going to go nowhere. We know the internet is being controlled. We know the views are being controlled. We know everything about a channel can be controlled and changed, you know, like they've done with my channel, like they've done with Del's channel, you know. Another reason why I decided to do this is that, again, I'm not saying that Del should do this, or, you know, that, you know, he's his own person. He could do, you know, whatever he wants, obviously. But if Del was going out, you know, speaking to people, which he did, you know, and if he started doing that again and would like to do that more often and consistently, I would definitely contribute to that, you know, 100%, you know, especially if you're being honest, if you're not misrepresenting and you're sticking to the facts, the objective facts, you know, because that's what it's about. So again, the links are there for those of you that would like to contribute, and yeah, hopefully in the future I'm able to do this more consistently, and yeah, that's the goal at the end of the day. You know, everything else, I hate to say it, is just a distraction. Entertainment's a distraction. Your job is an occupation to keep you occupied, you know, just to distract you from what's really important. And what's important is to understand that we don't live on a globe, that we've been lied to about the nature of our existence, and we definitely should be living a much easier life, than what we're living now. So yeah, that's the ultimate goal at the end of the day. Obviously, full exploration. I'm not gonna throw that off the bat. Every animal that gets put in captivity, even down to an ant, they explore their environment, before they establish, whatever they, You guys want to give it a shot? No? All right. Yeah, if anybody makes eye contact, I'm just gonna invite them over, and if they don't want to, then that's fine. Because a lot of people, they want to be like called over and stuff. It's like they're like thinking about it, they're not really sure. So inviting them over, I think, will be a good step, to get more conversations at the end of the day. So let me just say hi to everyone in the chat real quick. Sean, Tampa. It's Terry, right? Terry Hayes. That used to be your display name, I think. Bates Truther. What's up, Nat? Simon. Jason. City. Martin. Yep, and everyone else that just watches and that never comments. Again, I appreciate you guys being here. Yeah. Let me see if there's anything that's worth covering. Any questions? Do you think lying about the creator, like religions, is a greater lie than the level Earth, or are they on par? Well, it comes with it. Believing in the heliocentric model, that's a godless concept. So once you realize that it's not a globe, it's a default, thing that this is a creation. So I don't need to push that this is a creation, because it's a given. They're obviously pushing a godless concept with the heliocentric model, because anything other than that proves creation. Science proves creation, First law of thermodynamics, something can come from nothing. And then things cannot create themselves either. So it's a given, that this is a creation once you realize that it's not a globe and it's not a heliocentric model, So again, that's up to the individual to come to, but at the end of the day, it is a given. That doesn't mean that, Christians were right, or the Muslims were right, or Buddhists were right, and all this shit. Again, all of these are just religions as well. They're just trying to hijack what the creator actually is, and are giving you another concept. Again, it's just a religion. It's based on faith. The fact is, nobody knows what this God actually is, or if there's even multiple gods, right? Nobody knows at the end of the day. That's the fact. So yeah, it's on par. It's obviously on par, because it's can't have one without the other. So yeah, they're definitely lying to us about that this is a creation 100% of the time. I guess I should kind of highlight that to people, because I guess in the moment it doesn't really click when they ask why would they lie, right? Well, not only are they lying about control, but they're lying that this is a creation and that we actually have purpose here. What that purpose is, who knows? It's not to pay taxes, not to go to work every day to pay taxes and just be fucked by an economy. That's 100% not our true purpose here as a human being. If you ask me, nobody's being a true human being. Nobody is being what a true human being should be. I don't know what it should be, obviously. It starts with being honest, first of all. So a lot of people are not being honest with themselves because they choose to believe in concepts that contradict our reality. Especially all the people that I come across to and show the physics that that shows that we're not on the globe and it's physically impossible. But yeah, at the end of the day, people could just believe whatever they want. I don't have beliefs about the objective world, because the objective world is here, right in front of us to test. So you don't need to believe in the objective world. It's real. It's reality. It is what it is. It's not going to change. So again, that's the difference between religions and science. So they try to hijack science, but in reality, mainstream, right? The mainstream science when it comes to the globe is just another religion. Why? Because it's based on faith. It's not based on actual physics. That's why gravity as a pulling force will never be proven because it doesn't exist. You know, so people that are trying to change the world, they're trying to make society better for everyone, you know, it's just, oh, that's good. Oh, yeah, I'm not on TikTok, and I'm definitely nobody's sharing my videos on TikTok, that's for sure. They've probably seen someone else. By the way, these are like, they're middle school students actually. They're it's a lot of middle school students here. But yeah. But yeah, that is. What else can I say, right? Reality doesn't require a belief at the end of the day. Reality is what it is. Blue Pac-Man, what's up? We are here talking to each other, relating to each other, basic principle, yeah? Again, communication between amongst human beings. That's what they're trying to like, that's where this whole divide and conquer, right? And these whole distractions, you know, they don't want people to come together and communicate with one another, with reason, with logic, right? Because then people would realize that we're being fucked at a mass scale, you know? Every aspect of our lives is a lie. Literally from going to school, the curriculum, you know, getting a job, you know, the whole economy, you know, is a lie. It's based on faith. You could say it's a religion. Government is a religion. They only offer faith-based concepts, and people follow them and think they're true. And that's the lives. Those are the lives that we're all living. It's a lie. I don't like being lied to. That's why I come out and do this. That's why, you know, that's why this is so important. And if people don't see how important this is, then I'm sorry, you're just completely brainwashed. You know, I hate to say it, you know, you're and I don't say this in a hateful way. I'm saying it in a friendly way. You know, I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to help people realize that we're being taken advantage of at the end of the day. Our representatives, our governors, our presidents, or everybody in government are not looking out for us. They should be, right? That's the whole concept of government. It's by the people, for the people, right? It's to make life easier for us. But it's the opposite. They hoodwinked us, you know, and they're doing the opposite while claiming that they're helping us. But that's not the case. You know, it's because people just believe every concept that they hear, that, oh, resources are limited, the earth is dying, we need to go to space, right? And now they got you looking up at the sky when the solution is right underneath our feet. The soil, we have it completely covered in cement. They don't allow you to plant fruit trees in public. It's illegal. You got to get permission. And guess what? They're not going to allow it. You ask for permission and they're not going to allow it. So we're being controlled. We're not free. We're not a free society. We're not free to just go and try to, you know, plant trees, for example. And if there's an empty space of land, you know, it's just, guess what? Somebody owns it, right? I was thinking about it like, holy shit, the audacity for a human being to claim a piece of land and sell it to another human being, right? The audacity to do that, and I hate to say it, the stupidity to actually go along with it. Because that's how they got us. They convinced us that we gotta work and pay for land that's already been here, that nobody actually owns. We're all here just to experience it. Sure, you can claim a piece of land for yourself if you work it, if you live there, you know, that's what it's for. It's for everybody to use, right? Nobody should have the right to claim a piece of land and then sell it to someone else. But that's what the economy has done to us. And I'm not against an economy. I'm against this economy because obviously it's based on faith. But an economy, again, it's nothing wrong with that. If we all have the basic necessities to live independently, then an economy will be for fun. It'll be to be able to do things that you can't do, you know, by living a simple life. This, an economy will facilitate that. An economy should not be for the basic necessities, and that's what it's for. And how are they doing it? They're claiming the land, rent, mortgages, property taxes. Those are the three main things that take over 50% of people's income, especially if you're low income. These are the three things that are keeping us down. I know the mid class, they own homes, they pay their taxes, and it's probably like 25% of their income at best. But for the majority of us, it's over 50% of our income goes to just have a place to live. Like, I get that we have to pay for heat, gas, food, right? Because nobody's gonna work for free. Even though a lot of people would volunteer, a lot of people volunteer now and provide these services for free. A lot of people, put their energy and their attention to providing food and shelter for the homeless for free. Even in this economy, now imagine if nobody had the right to claim land and sell it to others. That would eliminate rent, that would eliminate mortgages, that would eliminate property tax. That would free the majority of people. But that's not gonna happen, right? Because again, I'm not against having to pay for food, especially right now, because there's no fruit trees anywhere, there's no food, there's no land to grow in it right now. Everything's covered in cement, right? So yes, work for those things, where people have to provide that service. If somebody has to provide a service or a product, then yeah, you have to pay for that. I hate to say it, but rent, the land is already here. Why the fuck do we need to pay just to stand there? That's what people have to realize. That's something we can eliminate right now, and it will obviously, maybe the economy will collapse because it depends on us paying that huge amount of our income, because that's what's keeping us enslaved. So we got rid of that. Yeah, the people that control us are not gonna like that, but it's something that we don't need. It's something that we don't need to follow, and something that it shouldn't even exist right now, because that's the number one thing how they're controlling us. Again, I'm not against an economy. I think an economy is cool. Like, you get to work, you make some money. We could just go back to gold. Let's go back to gold, the actual substance of the earth, to trade. Even though I have no value for gold, in my opinion, there is no real value to gold, because what are you going to do with gold? What could you do with it? Build plates and bowls? I mean, I'd rather do that out of wood. Hemp. Not only that, hemp, you can make clothes. We have cotton to make clothes. Like, what do we need gold for practically? Right? Again, it'll be a good exchange, if people want to participate in that. But that should not be a primary thing. An economy should be a commodity. It should not be a necessity. But yeah, it's just crazy, that the majority of people have bought into that and are just stuck. You can't think outside the box because you just believe everything in the news. You believe all these experts, right, that are telling you that we live on a globe earth with limited resources, and we need to do this and we need to do that and we need to put money here. And it's like, no, it's all control. It's a psychological attack lying to us about the fundamentals of this existence. Again, learning how to run, or trying to run before learning how to walk, right? People that are trying to fix the system, trying to make life better within the system, again, you're doing exactly that. You're trying to run before learning how to walk. You don't have critical thinking skills when it comes to basic things, when it comes to objective reality. And guess what? Trees growing, water, all of that is part of the objective reality. The earth itself is part of the objective reality which provides all of that. So if you don't have critical thinking skills to understand what the earth does, what it provides, and how we fit within it, then you're going to be swayed by these little concepts of government, and you're always going to live a lie, and you're always going to fail if you try to make a change within it. Because changing the government is not a solution. Government is the problem. It's not a solution. I mean, it's in the word government. Govern means to control. It's a word for mind. It's to control the mind. By controlling your mind, it can control your actions. It can control what you think, what you do. So it's about controlling the mind. That's what it's about, this whole lie. All the lies they tell us. the shape of the earth being the number one when we're very young. There's a reason why they push it on us when we're 5 years old. I hate to say it, our parents are guilty of pushing that lie on us. They're not doing it deliberately because they just believe it as well, but their ignorance, it's affecting their own children. And it's only getting worse, you know? So yeah, I actually want to make a real change. And that's why I come out and speak truth, objective truth. You know, I'll admit, I don't know everything about the earth. I don't know how far it extends. I don't know what's outside of the earth. I don't know what the container of the earth looks like. You know, I don't know what speed it's moving. There's a lot of things I don't know about the earth. But that doesn't change the fact that it's a level plane pushing up. Basic physics shows that those two fundamental facts are undeniable at the end of the day. So again, they're gonna try to suppress this. They're gonna try to suppress my channel like they've been. But me speaking to real people and sharing this information with real people, that's something they cannot suppress. You know, you speaking to your peers, you know, people in your town, they can't suppress that. Sure, they can suppress a video that you upload and just put it in a corner where nobody's gonna see it, right? And if you're not speaking to real people to actually share that, then yeah, your message is not gonna go nowhere. That's exactly what they want. That's what all of these most of these flat earth channels do. Not only that, they promote a lot of garbage, a lot of concepts as well, like the earth being motionless and objects accelerating down in free fall. That is not true. That is a misrepresentation of the truth. These people are literally defending the globe earth by claiming objects accelerate down. That's literally the controlled opposition. The whole globe earth versus motionless flat earth are nonsense. It's nonsense. They want people chasing their tails, and they have the majority doing that, you know. And I'm here exposing both of those models, the globe earth first and foremost, but the motionless flat earth as well, because they're the controlled opposition. They're trying to stump this. They're trying to make it not go nowhere. And I hate to say it, look what has happened in 10 years. It hasn't really moved nowhere. I mean, at least the people that I speak to, at least, you know, I'm planting some seeds, right? But the seeds take a while to sprout and grow. And that's if people put their attention to it. If the people don't put their attention to it, which will be the same thing as watering a plant. If people don't water a plant, it's not going to grow. So if people don't put their attention into this subject, into real physics, then that seed's not going to sprout or ever grow, you know. So hopefully, you know, a small fraction at least of the people that I speak to do that. Because guess what? Once you know, you can't unknow. Once you know, you can't go back. How do you, like, you would need something like the Men in Black flashlight that wipes your memory. That's the only way to unknow once you already know. Which obviously that's not true, unless you got dementia, right? Then I could see how you could forget, right, about this. I guess, again, the distractions makes people forget. That's what happens. People get too distracted with work, with entertainment, and just get too occupied with their occupation, and they never put any real attention to what's really important. And that sucks. Fucking sucks. But yeah, it is what it is. Abe, the best way to replicate gravity at a small scale is different orientation is by using rotational centrifugal acceleration like a bucket. Why are you misrepresenting that that's the only way? Like, I hate when people go, oh, it has to be a centrifuge. Like, that's literally just trying to pigeonhole people into a model. Like, I don't understand why. It's kind of weird. It's like they're strawmen. They want to strawman the argument. That's what they're doing. Because that argument can easily be debunked. Spinning a bucket and shit, like, that can easily be debunked. So they want to strawman people like myself that claim the earth is actually pushing up and not pulling down, because that argument can easily be debunked, and it's actually pretty laughable. So, Abe, you're only pushing a strawman. Nobody claims that. I don't know why you're claiming that. I don't claim that. Dell doesn't claim that. At the end of the day, it's irrelevant, you know, but that can easily be debunked. He's not a centrifuge like that. You know. So yeah, it is what it is. So let me just see if I missed any. You guys can find out if you want. No, yeah, I'm still tripping out on that first conversation. That was gold. That was gold. Like, the dad's reaction was one of the best reactions I've seen in years. Years of doing this. I've been doing this for 4+ years, and that was one of the best reactions I've seen. Because he was honest with himself. And he's seen that I'm using physics and science to present my point. For those of you that missed it, you know, you can, well, I'm gonna upload that conversation, obviously, but yeah, that was a great conversation. Natalie, putting all the power in anyone's hands isn't a solution. Exactly. And that's what we're doing. We're looking for saviors when we can save ourselves. Here I am trying to teach people how to swim because they're drowning and they're ignoring it. Here I am throwing people a fucking life jacket and a fucking tube, what do you call it, inner tube, you know, to give them a chance, right? And they're ignoring it. They rather just drown because the expert's telling them that, hey, you don't need none of that. You don't even need to learn how to swim. Just come in the deep water and you'll be fine. Believe me, the water molecules will support you. You know, if you believe hard enough, you would not drown because the water will support you, right? That's what they're doing. And I'm here telling you, no, you're gonna fucking drown. You need to learn how to swim if you wanna go in the deep end. You need to have some fucking safety gear, some floating devices if you don't know how to swim. But they have people convinced that you don't need that. You don't need none of that. Just come in. Come to the deep end. Believe me. And people are fucking drowning. You know? But yeah. See how it goes. We got a really good conversation. Hopefully we can get a couple more. And hopefully with, I hate to say it, like hopefully with like, not middle school students, again, they're a little too young. You know, when I speak to them, even high school students, you know, not all. Some high school students are really, you know, advanced compared to the rest. But the majority, you know, this conversation is just, I can feel it, you know, it just doesn't really go nowhere, you know. It's cool to plant that seed, I guess, you know, give them a little flyer, you know, and stuff like that, but the conversation doesn't really progress when I'm speaking to really young students, like in middle school and some high school students. I'm not saying all high school students, again, some high school students are really, really advanced and they do comprehend a lot more than their other peers. But yeah, obviously college students are the sweet spot, you know, that's where you want to get them, you know, especially at a university, you know, when they're 18 to 22, you know. I think those are the best, you know, people to talk to. I think I'm gonna get one more. So what's
Test my knowledge.
Okay, perfect. So how many are you?
I'm not doing it.
You're not doing it, but you guys are together, right?
Yeah.
All right, no worries. What grade are you guys in, if you mind me asking?
Going to my junior year.
Junior? Oh, you guys are in high school.
Sophomore
Yeah,
year.
high school.
High school. Okay, perfect. Let's just do this real quick. So I have 3 box trucks. They're completely sealed. They're all on a level surface, and they all have an apple hanging from the string. The only difference is that one of these trucks is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse.
Yeah.
So out of these 3 trucks, which one is at rest?
I guess G.
Okay. Would you agree or disagree?
I would have to agree. No, it can't be. It's going to be the reverse, I guess it's C. Yeah, and the forward is A.
Okay, yeah, you got it. Okay, how did you know this one's forward?
As we go this way,
Well,
it's good.
'cause when
Momentum's
you
coming this way.
Go in a truck, if you go this way, the other it like
Momentum.
goes back.
Yeah, so what happens is when you accelerate this way, the apple remains in its position because of inertia, and then the truck's moving forward towards the apple. The apple just remains still, in other words. physics. So yeah, you guys got the first one. Pretty good. So the second one is pretty similar, but instead of an apple, is a helium balloon inside. So a helium balloon is buoyant. It's, you know. So out of these three, which one is at rest? Which truck is at rest?
B again?
Yeah, and it's for the same reason as the first, because it's not moving. Yeah. Which one is accelerating forward? What truck is accelerating? Okay, I'm gonna help you guys out real quick. So this is a buoyant object. It's floating in air. So this is also a buoyant object because it's floating in water. So this ball represents the balloon. So it's at rest right now, but I'm gonna accelerate it, and you guys pay attention to what happens to the ball. You guys see what happened?
Yeah. I think it's because isn't it lighter than
Yeah.
air?
So out of these three, which one is accelerating forward then? It is C, yeah. So there is two reasons. You said the first one, that it's lighter than air. Helium is lighter than air. What's the second reason to why this moved forward?
I mean, I'm French. I don't know.
It's actually a force. So yeah, it's a push. So when I accelerate the truck in this direction, all of the air that's inside of the truck is being pushed in that same direction by the truck. And because air is more dense than helium, is able to push the balloon along with it. So the balloon got pushed forward. Just like this ball gets pushed forward by the water. But the container pushed the water, not the water didn't push itself. That's obvious, right? So here, I recreated this experiment in a cargo van. So it's basically both questions in one. I want to see if you guys can get it. So this will be the true, are you smarter than a fifth grader? So here's a helium balloon and an apple hanging from it.
Opposite.
So what direction did I accelerate this van? This way or this way, right or left?
Right.
Yes, right, exactly,
Yeah.
because that's the direction the balloon got pushed.
Yeah.
Exactly. So here's a bonus question. It looks like the apple and the helium balloon are moving away from each other, right? It literally looks like that. But in reality, only one is moving away from the other. One. Yes, the balloon is moving away from the apple. The apple didn't move back.
The
It just got
apple
left.
stays in its place.
Yes, you got it. You guys are pretty smart. All right, one last question before you guys go. If I have a helium balloon here on Earth and I release it, what direction does it go? Yes, it goes up. There's two reasons why it goes up. Why do you guys think?
Because it's lighter than air.
Yes, that's the first reason. So there's a density difference. It's lighter than air. What's the second reason? All right, you need a force. You need a push. So again, the air is pushing the helium balloon up.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the reality. So in this scenario, the truck pushed the air to push the helium. What do you think is pushing up the air here to push up the helium? Yeah, here on Earth, what's pushing up the air to do? Yes, it is gravity. But I don't know if you guys knew, gravity as a pulling force is just a theory because it has never been proven or detected. So it doesn't exist in reality. So the fact is, the force of the Earth is an upwards push, not a downwards pull. So right now, the Earth is pushing up against your feet. It's not pulling you down towards it. So when I have an object and I release it into free fall, this doesn't move down to the Earth. It's the Earth that comes up to the object. Yes, because everything's moving up right now. Yeah, so you guys all believe, this is the real reason why I'm doing this. You guys believe the Earth is a ball, right?
Yeah.
So do you guys understand that on a ball, up is relative? So if you're standing here, up is this way, but if you're standing down here, up is this way. In every direction away from the center is up, right? If we could prove physically that the Earth is not pulling you down towards it, but in fact is pushing up on you, how can the Earth push up in every direction at the same time if it was a ball?
Like radius.
What would happen to the Earth if it was pushing up?
It would explode, no?
Yes, you got it. Hey, man, you're smart. So yeah, it will expand and it will just explode. It will tear up itself apart. It wouldn't work, in other words. So the number one proof to debunk the ball Earth is the fact that gravity, it's an upwards push of the Earth, not a downwards pull. So what does that mean? The Earth is actually an extended level plane that's pushing up in one direction only. So everybody's standing on the same side of the Earth. So nobody's bending around. Like China and Australia are not underneath your feet. They're just across the way. So that's the reality. The Earth is just an extended level plane. So before you guys go, if I was to ask you guys respectfully, why do you guys believe the Earth is a ball?
Honestly, just because of like the pictures.
Yes, that's the number one. Believe it or not, most people believe it because of the pictures. But here, look, I have two images of the Earth from outer space, and these are official NASA images. And they call them images, not photographs. Oh, can you pass that to me? Or did it come inside? Oh, I got it. Thank you. So these are official NASA images, and they admit they're images, not photographs. Why? Because they're composites. In other words, they're just cartoons. They're CGI. So a real photograph of the Earth as a ball from outer space doesn't exist. So they're all cartoons. So it is because the Earth, in my opinion, obviously, it was not my opinion, it's a fact, it's not a ball. It defies physics. So is there any other, because if I showed you an image of me flying, would you believe I could fly?
Probably not.
Exactly, because that defies physics. You know, you can see it in movies, and you know, they use CGI and green screens and all that, right? This is no different. You know, that's the reality. So anything other than images that makes you believe the Earth is a ball? Is there anything else?
Not really. I'm not
No.
very good at science.
No, yeah, fair enough.
I don't know anything else like that.
Exactly. So let me ask you guys this. Is it possible that we have been lied to about the nature of the Earth? Or are you guys 100% convinced that it is a ball?
It's being a bowl too.
A bowl? I would say it's more like a bowl. Yeah, exactly. But again, the surface is level, you know. But is there, you know, is it possible that we have been lied to? Or are you guys 100% convinced that it's a ball?
I guess it's possible, but it's just
Okay.
if every single like space
Organization,
station,
yeah.
has like showed that.
But every single space station shows CGI images of the Earth. Nobody, even the Europeans, you know, the Japan, you know, even the Indians have a space program, and they all show cartoons of the Earth as a ball. Because, so it's, I don't know exactly why they're trying to trick us, but it's about control. It's about dumbing the population down and to disconnect us from the fact that this is a creation and we actually have purpose. So it's about pretty much controlling us. So you can control someone's actions by controlling their mind first. It's about mind control, pretty much.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for, like,
No, thanks for stopping, man. You're pretty smart, man. So here's my channel. I go to all the major universities here in Southern California. Here, I'll give you guys these two. You guys can share it. Here, I'll give you one more. And yeah, you guys can check out my conversations I have with a bunch of different students and professors. I talk to physics professors as well. And yeah, I appreciate the conversation, man. You guys have a good one. Yeah. I guess I'm eating my own words. These were high school students, and they were pretty engaged, you know. But that's why I said not all high school students are, you know, I don't even know what the word would be, but yeah, that was a pretty good conversation. Yeah, I didn't even get to the number 2, but again, you know, that's why, you know, the conversation just didn't progress, I guess, but it's fine. I got the main points across, which is what's important, you know. Let me see if there's any questions from anyone. So if anybody's wondering what these links are, again, for anybody that wants to contribute, you know, and show some support to my channel so that enables me to do this more often and more consistently, these are 2 links that you can use to do that. The top one is my Cashapp, is Level-Headed William, and the bottom one is my PayPal. Obviously, it's PayPal William Matias, at PayPal William Matias. Again, it's for those of you that would like to contribute to this, to like to contribute for something greater than just yourself, you know, at the end of the day, because this is not just about the self, it's about spreading it to new people, it's about spreading objective truth, you know, and yeah, at the end of the day, you know, that's what it's about. You know, and I hate to say it, it's not cheap to live out in a major city, you know, it's, you know, to take days off work to come out and do this, you know, so yeah, for those of you that would like to support, you know, those are the links. I'm giving people the opportunity to do so, and yeah, I'm still gonna do this regardless whether people support or not. I'm gonna try to do this as much as I can, and yeah, it is what it is. Sure, you guys are. What's up? All right, 2 very easy multiple choice questions.
Okay.
I'm William, by the way. Nice to
meet
meet you guys. All right, perfect. So I have 3 box trucks here. They're completely sealed. They're all on a level surface, and they all have an apple hanging from a string.
Okay.
The only difference between these 3 trucks is that one is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
B.
Yes, you guys got it. How did you guys know it's B?
Because, well, because the thing is, you know, I'm not taking physics, but this is kind of almost common ball, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So the truck is going that way, so it would be, so as the truck is reversing, the apple is going like that, right?
No, which one?
Well,
you're saying this one is at rest. Tell me why this one's at rest.
Oh, you're talking about, the thing is, I'm explaining why this is going to be at rest. So
Okay.
that's why I'm starting with A.
Okay.
So if it's at rest, the apple wouldn't be moving, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So but when the truck is accelerating, the apple is moving this way, right?
Well, which one's accelerating forward then? If I was to ask you.
C.
I think A is accelerating forward. Yeah.
A is accelerating. Okay, my fault. A is
the other way
accelerating
around.
forward. A is accelerating forward, meaning that the truck C is moving reverse. So B would be the correct answer because the truck is parked, and when the truck is parked,
Yes.
the apple isn't moving.
Yes.
It's staying straight.
Okay, but here's the thing. When you accelerate forward, the apple isn't moving either. It looks like it moves back, but it's the truck that's moving forward, and the apple remains in its position in space because of inertia. So it appears to swing back, but in reality, it's the truck that's moving towards the apple because the apple didn't really swing back. It just remained in its position in space.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the reality.
Okay.
Yeah, would you guys disagree? I mean, you guys can hang something inside a container and then accelerate it, that thing's gonna appear to swing back because it's the container that crashes into it. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I see what you mean. 'Cause I guess you're saying that the truck is the one doing the moving.
Yes, and the apple remains in its position in space and is being left behind. So the apple is simply being left behind. That's what's happening. All right, so here's the second one. Similar to that one, but instead of an apple is a helium balloon inside now.
Helium balloon.
Yes, so out of these three, which one is at rest?
B again, I guess?
Yes,
B,
and it's for the
yeah,
same
B,
first. Yeah, it's not moving. The balloon's not moving, so that one is at rest. So which one's accelerating forward in this sense?
I think it would be A.
Here, let me help you guys out a little bit. So this is a buoyant object. A helium balloon is buoyant. This is also a buoyant object because it's inside water. It's less dense in the water, so it's buoyant. So right now it's at rest. It's obviously vertical, just like B. But I'm going to accelerate it and pay attention what direction the ball goes.
It went back.
No.
Or no, it went-
No. Pay attention again, look. Okay, let it stop real quick. We'll do it this way.
All right.
Okay, let it stop. Okay, there it is. I'm gonna accelerate it. This direction, initially, what direction does it move?
That way.
Exactly, it went forward. So out of these three, which one would you say is accelerating forward?
Just C then.
It is C, exactly. There's two reasons why it's C. Do you happen to know why? So the first reason is obviously air is more dense than helium. So there's a density difference, right? That's the first reason. The second reason is a force. Because without a force, matter can't move. Matter requires a force. So when I apply a force in this direction, for example, all the air that's inside the truck is being also forced in that same direction. It's being pushed. And because air is more dense than helium, the air is able to push the helium along with it. So the air pushes the helium balloon forward because the truck's pushing the air forward. So that's the reality. Same thing with this. I'm pushing the container, forcing it, and then the water pushes the ball. You know, it's a chain reaction of a force. You know, that's the reality. So here, this is both questions in one, and I want to see if you guys get it.
Okay.
This is the real Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? So this is a cargo van, and I have a helium balloon and an apple inside. So what direction did I accelerate this van? To the right or to the left?
Wait, so we have the.
The apple's red and the helium balloon is pink.
I think it's
Wait, let's think about it. So for the balloon one, he was saying it's going forward, then that's.
yeah.
Let's take that. I mean, initially it still looks like it's going this way.
Yeah, so what direction did I accelerate this van? Would you say to the right or to the left? It's only one. It can only be one.
Oh, so it's not a trick.
It's not a trick question.
It's one or the other.
Yeah, did it accelerate right or did it because obviously it's not at rest because there's motion. So there's a force being applied. But what direction did I apply the force? To the right or to the left?
I think
Left maybe.
No, it's to the right.
Yeah, I was gonna say to the right.
It is to the right because the balloon got pushed forward, meaning the air inside got pushed forward.
The air intake got pushed forward
Yes.
that way.
And what about
But the apple
Got
when it
left
was-
behind.
when it was pushed forward, got
Okay,
behind.
yeah.
Yeah, it got left behind. Exactly. All right,
Guess
so
I'm not smarter than 50.
hey, believe it or not, most people don't get this one. But here's a bonus
Well,
question.
also let's not forget this is not meant to be actually like an actual IQ test. It's mostly just like
No, I was kidding.
No, yeah.
It's like,
So here's a bonus question. It looks like the balloon and the apple are moving away from each other. That's what it looks like, right? They're moving away from each other. But in reality, only one is moving away from the other. So out of these two, the apple and the helium balloon, which one is actually moving away from the other? Which one's actually moving through space?
the balloon?
Yes, you got it. There you
The
go.
apple's
Staying behind.
inertia.
Yes, inertia. Exactly. You got it. Perfect. All right. One last question before you guys go. If I have a helium balloon here on Earth and I release it, what direction does it go? Yes, it goes up. There's two reasons why it goes up. Why do you think?
Because the air is pushing it up.
Yes, because it's more dense.
More dense.
And then the second reason is because it is pushing it up, which is a force. The push is a force. So in this scenario, the truck pushed the air to be able to push the helium. What's pushing the air up here on Earth to be able to push up the helium?
Oxygen.
No, oxygen is the air. It's part of the
oxygen is-
atmosphere. So what's pushing up the atmosphere to be able to push up the helium balloon?
Heat.
No, because heat rises too because of pressure. It's the Earth. Yeah, it's gravity. But here's the thing. I don't know if you guys knew gravity is a pulling force. It's just a theory because it has never been detected or measured. So it doesn't really exist. The fact is the force of the Earth is an upwards push, not a downwards pull. So right now, the Earth is pushing up against your feet. It's not pulling you down towards it.
I think I've heard that. I heard
It's the normal force.
I heard gravity was sort of like made up.
Yes, it is made up.
You know what's his name? Like
Neil deGrasse Tyson? Or who?
like Veritas serum or whatever. Like the one guy.
Oh yeah, Veritas. Yeah,
He
yeah.
had a
yeah.
video about that.
Yes, it is just the concept and it's made up and it doesn't exist because the only force that exists of the Earth is the normal force. You could look it up. It's an upwards push of the Earth. What does that mean, right? So this is the real reason why I'm doing this. You guys believe the Earth is a ball, right?
Yes.
So do you guys understand that on a ball, up is relative, right? If you're standing here, up is this way, but if you're standing down here, up is this way. And every direction away from the center is up on a ball, right?
Yeah.
If we could prove physically that the force of the Earth is an upwards push and not a downwards pull, how can the Earth push up in every direction at the same time if it was a ball?
It's a good question. I'm not sure.
So that would mean the Earth will have to be expanding or just explode. It wouldn't work. So the number one proof to debunk the ball Earth is the fact that the Earth is pushing up and it's not pulling you down.
Okay.
So that's the number one proof to debunk the globe Earth. It's the fact that gravity is a push, not a pull.
Wait, so you're saying it's not a globe?
It's not a globe. The fact is the Earth, here I dropped it, it's just an extended level plane and everyone's standing on the same side of the Earth, on top of it. And it's just pushing up in one direction. So China, Australia, it's not underneath our feet. They're just across the way. Everything is just across the way. So
What about those like pictures of like space?
yes, the pictures. Okay, that's perfect. You brought that up. So I do have two images of the Earth right here as a ball. These are official NASA images.
Yeah.
And they call them images, not photographs, because they're actually photoshopped. So a real photograph of the Earth as a ball from outer space doesn't exist. They're all CGI composites. So again, and the reason is because the ball Earth doesn't exist. It defies physics. So if I showed you an image of me walking on water, would you guys believe I could walk on water? No, that will be obviously a magic trick or some CGI.
Unless you're in the Dead Sea, right?
Right. Yeah, but yeah, you cannot walk on water because it defies physics, just like these images defy physics. You know. So, yeah. So anything other than images that convinces you that the Earth is a ball. Is there anything else?
Well, I don't know. I feel like, here's my opinion. I'm not sure about physically, but I just feel like there's no compelling reason for people to lie about that, right? I don't see what the reason would be.
So you're saying because you can't think of a motive that it cannot be anything other than a ball.
Well, I know that's faulty logic.
I'm glad you at least acknowledge that it is faulty logic.
I'm just saying that it's I'm just saying that like I can't think of a sinister reason that there would be like a large conspiracy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I could see why for other conspiracy theories there'd be a reason to like controls and stuff. I don't see. You know, I feel like everything here just seems pretty normal.
What if that lie is to stump our critical thinking skills so that we just obey authority over our own common sense, and that way we're easily controllable. So it comes down to control. So they lied to us when we were very young, and they because they don't want us to be critical thinkers, independent critical thinkers. They want us to just obey authority and just believe what we're told. So in other words, the whole globe Earth, the heliocentric model as a whole, is just a religion, no different than Christianity, because it's faith-based. The fact is, the Earth is a level plane that's pushing up. You know, that's the reality. You know, and physics shows us that. So real quick, do you guys know the radius of the Earth? They tell us.
Nope.
So the radius of the Earth is 3,159 miles. Allegedly, that's the distance from the center to the outer circumference.
Yeah.
Which, again, we multiply that times pi, we get the circumference, which is 24,901. So these are the numbers that they're giving us, right? But if we actually went out to nature in reality to measure to see if this curvature is there, because based on the Pythagorean theorem, we should be able to measure the curvature that they're claiming based on the radius, which is 8 inches per mile squared. So that means in the first mile there should be an 8-inch curve, second mile there should be 32 inches, and by the third mile there should be 6 feet of curvature. So how do we measure for it if there's 6 feet of curvature in 3 miles, right? There's an easy way.
Sorry, I just thought of something.
Sure,
like,
go for it.
You know how when you're in like water,
Yes.
like like a boat sails, like it
Yes.
appears to fall off the edge, but
Yes.
that's because the Earth is round.
It's
That's
curving.
the reason why.
You think it's curving. Oh, here's the reality. We do have a limit of perspective to how far we can see. So
Okay.
everything shrinks to a point. That's why when something gets further and further away, it gets smaller. It appears to
Well-
get smaller in your vision.
I'm not sure if this has been done, but I feel like you could. I mean, if you, let's say you had a powerful telescope, you could just check this out. But I don't know. I mean, I guess visually you can't.
Yeah, so what happens is
Can't see.
with the naked eye, when a boat appears to disappear over the curve, it's simply going out of perspective. It's not going down a curve. Why? Because if we bring out a telescope or binoculars, we're able to zoom that boat back into view because we're increasing our perspective. So it's just straight ahead of you. It's just being distorted by perspective, by our limit of sight. Because we're not Superman. We can't see forever. You know, so there is a limit of perspective, and that's why things appear to disappear. It's an illusion of the eye. It's not a physical curve. Because if that physical curve was there, again, we should be able to measure it. It's 6 feet and 3 miles. How do we measure for that? Well, very easy. If we went out to a giant lake that was 3 miles across, filled with water, once the water's at rest,
Yeah.
and we build a level structure above it, the water is going to be parallel to anything that's level above it, because when water is contained in that rest, the surface always collapses and forms an equal surface, which is horizontal, which is level. That's what level means.
Well, I feel like, you know, when I'm talking about like structures, right? I don't know if there's any structure that's like, since the Earth's so large, I feel like there's no structure for large enough that like the curve would appear. Because like right now we're on like flat ground, right?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I feel like the world is large enough for like it appears that we like are on a plane, but like you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Okay, I'm glad that you said that it appears that we're not playing, because we are. Because if we actually went to actually measure, it will confirm. Again, water, the surface of water, when you have a pool, we can extend that pool a mile, 2 miles. That
Yeah.
surface of water of that pool will never bend. It will remain
I see
horizontal,
what you're saying, but like, I feel
regardless
like
of distance.
a mile in relation to let's say the entire Earth
It's
is quite small.
8 inches, that's how much curvature there should be. I agree. 8 inches is very small in a
Sure.
mile, but in 3 miles is 6 feet. That's, I don't know how tall you are, you're probably 6 feet.
I'm not 6 feet.
Okay, well, look, that's a lot of curvature though in 3 miles.
Okay.
In 10 miles, it should be 66 feet. That's like a 6-story building in 10 miles. So if you build a pool or a lake that's 10 miles across, they're claiming there's 66 feet of curvature on that lake, which is physically impossible. Water doesn't have the ability to bend 66 feet in 10 miles. That's just
Okay.
physically impossible. Again, these images that they're showing us of the globe Earth bending with water sticking to it defy physics. And that's why they cannot get a real photograph of the Earth. That's why they're all CGI and composites. That's why they don't exist.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe in like 50 years or so. I mean, I don't know. Maybe like one day I'll be able to go up in space, but like I'm not. As of right now,
No, I'm not going to convince you. I agree in 10 minutes, obviously. You know, but here's the thing. Is it possible that we have been lied to about the nature of the Earth, or are you guys 100% convinced that it is a ball?
well, I wouldn't say I'm 100% convinced about like most things that people say,
Exactly.
but well, what I'll say is that like I feel like I don't know. I feel like I trust a lot of these like like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He seems like he's.
I'm glad you used the word
And-
trust, because
and
it's
it's-
all faith-based.
And it's like, well, because a lot of things you take for granted, right? And like physics and stuff. But,
But you shouldn't, because physics is science. It should be measurable, testable, and repeatable by every single one of us. That's what makes it science, is that can be proven by every single. What they're claiming defies physics, and it cannot be
Okay.
tested by me and you. It's
Well,
just
well,
faith-based.
I've been taking physics, so I can't really say one way or the other.
Fair enough.
Like for me, for example, like I would say nothing against like you or like this whole like thing, but I'm just saying like there is somewhat of a, I guess, strength in numbers type thing. So,
A consensus, you could
Because
say.
me, like I would say, I'll be honest, I don't understand the science of like either side. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
But I'm saying that what I'm saying is right now, I've heard this perspective from. I think you're like the only person to share this perspective.
Okay, I'm sure.
And I've heard the other perspective.
What I'm
shared.
presenting, though, is it reasonable?
Well,
What's unreasonable about it if you don't think it's reasonable?
I don't know, because here's the thing. Like, I feel like maybe you could be saying like something that.
Because this is the radius of the Earth. I'm not making it up. You can look it up. So there should be curvature to the Earth. That's undeniable.
What I'm saying is like I feel like you could be presenting this information in a way that is convincing, but maybe is not true. But then I feel like I don't have the physics knowledge to be able to determine whether or not it's true or not. So
Fair enough.
What I'll say is like, it's interesting. It's put. I think it's interesting.
Fair enough. Would you look into this further, or would you just ignore it and don't think it's important?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Tell you what,
how
here's my
important it
channel.
is right now.
I talk to different universities. I speak to people. I've spoken to physics professors. I've spoken to astrophysicists,
Okay.
and nobody can prove the globe works physically. It's just a concept. And you can check out my conversations. Here's my YouTube channel.
Okay, I could check it out, but honestly,
You could take this with you if you want, this whole flyer. But you can just
no.
check
I
it
mean,
out.
if I search up your channel, I'll have it. But I
Perfect,
feel like either way,
perfect.
I don't know how concerned I would be,
Fair enough.
regardless. But wait, by the way, what are you doing with this footage?
Oh, it's just I'm live streaming already, so yeah,
You're
it's just
streaming?
yeah, it's on YouTube. You can check it out.
Okay, I just don't want to like. I mean, I guess it's fine. I agree to doing this, but it's
Yeah,
like,
no worries. I mean, it's just
Uh,
factual information that everyone should know, in my opinion. It's the most open conversation that we should have, in my opinion, is what the Earth is. I think talking about the Earth and what it actually is should be the number one thing we should figure out, especially if we're wrong, in my opinion. Because other than that, we're just going to live a lie if we're wrong, if you're actually wrong.
Sure.
You know?
Well,
but
okay. Now I'm not entirely convinced that
Fair
it's,
enough.
it's a lie, but
Fair enough.
I do appreciate you coming to share an unpopular opinion.
fair enough.
You know?
I appreciate the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, take care.
And
All right. Hey, have a good one.
thank you to the stream.
Yeah, there you go. He was shook, yeah. They started off a little bit rough, obviously, in the beginning, you know. They kind of got ahead of themselves, in my opinion. They overthought the simple questions, which it happens. Sometimes it happens. And, yeah, I mean, it's undeniable. You know, it's literally undeniable. You know, a child can understand these basic principles, the basic physics of water, you know, the basic principles of what's required to have buoyancy. You know, a less dense object moving, you know, being pushed by the more dense medium that surrounds it. You know, what do you require for that to happen, to have a buoyant effect, right? Well, you require a push. And depending on the direction of that push, that's the direction the buoyant object's going to get pushed. That's facts. That's reality. It's undeniable, you know. So, yeah, these two simple facts destroy the heliocentric model and also destroy the motionless flat Earth concept that's being pushed online. This whole false dichotomy with the motionless flat Earth versus globe Earth. Just a distraction at the end of the day. It's a distraction from the true physics and nature of what the Earth actually is, you know. So, yeah, it started off a little rough, but it was pretty good at the end. At least he entertained the conversation a bit longer than the other ones. And yeah, I mean, obviously I'm not going to convince anyone. That's obvious. So yeah, it is what it is. God damn, the sun came out now. I knew it was going to happen. And I'm a little high. I wanted to look for some shade, but god damn, it's right above me. I mean, what can I say, right? Now we're in 15 minutes? All right. Yeah, I'm going to try to do at least the 2 hours and see where it goes from there. Yeah, I'm going to most likely just do 2 hours. So hopefully we get a couple more. Again, talking about reality, you know, exposing the biggest lie on earth, you know, I have fun with it. I'm sure you guys have fun watching it, you know. Especially people's reactions, people's expressions, like, man, they're priceless. They're fucking priceless, man, you know. No, yeah, UCLA is going to be the school to come to during summer. I mean, you just come to this school all summer until classes are back in session. Then I start going to UCR again, UC Irvine, and what's the other one? USC. You know, there's definitely a lot of people that still come to this school during summer. I figured, I figured it's like in the middle of LA, pretty much. You know, like right next to Beverly Hills. It's pretty congested here, you know, and it's a pretty big campus. So I'm sure they have a lot of programs, even during summer, that people sign up for, you know. And yeah, I was right. There's definitely a lot of foot traffic here. I love watching it, man. Please keep doing it. The world just isn't ready yet. Yeah, people aren't ready, but when are they gonna be ready? You know, it takes someone like myself to go out and present this. And then if that gets the gears going, then guess what? Now they're ready. See, if nobody gets the gears going, then you're never gonna be ready. You know. So yeah, we gotta come out and speak to this. You know, speak to other people about this. You know, because people are not gonna be ready. People are just being fed more propaganda. People are just being taken advantage even more. People are being distracted even more. You know, the economy is getting even worse. People are having to work more. People are having to be occupied even more now. You know, so people are never going to be ready. If anything, the opposite is happening. If you just sit around and wait for people to be ready without saying anything, then yeah, people are never going to be ready for this. It takes effort. It takes someone to go out and present this. And again, that's how you get the gears going, at least, you know. Then if people see some value there, which I don't see why you wouldn't, right? Then now they can start to be ready for this information, you know. But it's gonna take an effort, you know. This is not gonna happen by itself. It's gonna take a human being to come out and talk. It took human beings to fucking bamboozle the majority, you know, and to push this lie. Imagine how much effort it took to push a lie, right? It's gonna take less effort to push the truth, but it's still gonna take effort. You can expect a dog or an animal to come out and present it. Come on, it's gonna take a human being and nothing else. It's not just gonna happen naturally, because guess what? They're pushing the opposite still. What's up? All right. Hell yeah, let's go. How many are you? 4? Perfect. You guys can do it together.
Okay. I'm low-key not smarter than a 5th grader.
Is this gonna be on like?
I'm live streaming on YouTube. You guys, I'll give you the channel after.
Oh sure.
Yeah. All right, perfect.
What's up, log?
All right, so.
Oh wait, are we logging now?
Yeah, so I have 3 box trucks here. They're completely sealed. They're all on a level surface, and they all have an apple hanging from a string. The only difference between these 3 box trucks is that one is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
This one's at rest.
Yes, you guys got it. How'd you guys know it was B?
Because this
Yes.
one's moving forward, that one's going back.
Okay, so which one's accelerating forward, you said?
This one's going forward.
Okay, how did you know that one's accelerating forward?
Because they're going forward, so the ball's going to go backwards due to momentum.
Due to inertia. So
Inertia,
it
yeah.
appears.
Newton's law.
Yeah. So the apple is just staying in this position and is being left behind.
Yeah.
It's because of inertia. So it appears to swing back, but it's just being left behind. Pretty much. All right, perfect. You guys got the first one. Pretty easy. All right, the second one is pretty similar, obviously, but instead of an apple, it's a helium balloon now inside. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
I'm still going to hit this one though.
Yes. It's because of the same reason as the first. It's not moving. Exactly. Which one's accelerating forward?
I still think it's.
I still think it's.
Let me help
the
you.
same. If you're holding a balloon, you go like that. It's gonna go like that.
But the difference is this is inside a container, so there's no air resistance.
I'm still going to hit this one.
B is accelerating forward.
No, B's rest.
No, B's right.
Oh, sorry, then this one. is-
Okay, let me help you guys out real quick. So this is a buoyant object, right? The balloon,
Wait, it might
because
be
it's
B.
floating. This is also a buoyant object because it's floating in water. So this ball represents the balloon, right? Right now it's at rest and it's vertical, so it's like B, right? I'm gonna accelerate it in this direction and watch what happens to the ball. Pay attention.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure a 5th grader would know that. I'm
not
gonna lie.
most
sure
people
about
don't. But once you understand
Yeah.
it and once you know this, you can unknow it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So here's the thing. So C is
That is
accelerating
super
forward.
interesting.
Yes. There's 2
Wow.
reasons though why this happened. Do you guys know why? There's 2 reasons.
Momentum.
No airflow.
Momentum, it has to do with momentum, sure, but there's another reason.
Is helium?
It's helium, it's less dense than the air. So density difference is the first reason.
okay.
The second reason is a force. You need a push. So when I accelerate the container in this direction, all the air that's inside is also being pushed or forced in that direction. And because air is more dense than helium, the air is able to push the balloon with it. So the balloon gets pushed by the air in the direction of the force. All right, so here, I recreated this experiment in a cargo van, and it's pretty much both questions in one. So look, there's a helium balloon and an apple.
Oh, wow.
What direction did it accelerate here? To the right or to the left?
Right.
Yes, because obviously that's the direction the balloon got
Yeah,
pushed. That's,
wow.
yeah.
So it's about density.
It's about density and a force. You need a
So
force.
like in a submarine, then what's going to happen in there?
Well, they changed the density of it to go up and down.
Oh,
depending.
that is cool.
That's why they have gas tanks in there.
That's some crazy
But here's the thing.
technology.
Here's a bonus question. It looks like the apple and the helium balloon are moving away from each other. That's what it looks like. They're moving away. But in reality, only one is moving away from the other. So one is only being pushed and the other one is not moving at all. So out of the helium balloon and the apple, which
The apple's moving.
the balloon's moving forward? Yeah, because the balloon got pushed forward.
Oh,
the apple got left behind. So the apple didn't really move back.
Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, so only the balloon got pushed forward. So the force was forward.
Oh,
in the
that's
balloon.
right.
So here's one last question before you guys go. If I have a helium balloon here on Earth and I release it, what direction does it go?
Up.
There's two reasons why it goes up.
It's less than air.
That's the first reason. What's the second reason?
Because it's like sealed in the container. In
No,
the balloon.
the helium balloon rises
Yeah.
up.
The
right?
air is trying to rise, so the balloon is just going to carry it upwards.
What's carrying up the balloon? What's pushing up the balloon?
Air trying to escape.
Is it the particles inside the balloon?
No, the particles inside the balloon are less dense than the air that surrounds it, right?
So,
That's
yeah.
obvious. But what's the second reason why it rises? It's a force.
Heat?
You need a force, a push.
Oh.
So the fact is that air is pushing up the helium balloon because air is more dense than helium.
Oh, right.
So in
That
this
makes sense.
scenario, the truck was able to push the air when I accelerated, and then the air pushed the helium balloon in the same direction. What's pushing up the air here to be able to push up a helium balloon? What do you
Pushing
guys?
up the air.
Yeah.
The air particles.
Well, yeah, the air particles are pushing up the
Gravity?
helium. Yes, it is gravity. But here's the thing. Gravity as a pulling force has never been measured or detected. So in other words, it's just a theory. It doesn't exist. The fact is the force of the Earth is not a downwards pull, it's an upwards push. So right now the Earth is pushing up against your feet, not pulling you down towards it. And that upwards push is what's pushing
we're
up.
heavier, so we're pushing back down. That's why
Because you have inertia.
Yeah.
Because you have inertia, yes. But here's the thing: the Earth is pushing up the air, and that's how air is able to push up helium balloons, and that's why things go up. So here's the real reason why I'm doing this, though. You guys believe the Earth is a ball, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys understand that on a ball, up is relative? So if you're standing here, up is this way, and if you're standing down here, up is this way.
Yeah.
In every direction away from the center is up. Yes. If we could prove physically that the Earth is not pulling you down, and in fact is pushing up against you, literally, how can the Earth push up in every direction at the same time if it was a
Because
ball?
the equator is the center.
Okay, but how is it pushing up this way and down and up this way and up this way? How is it pushing up in all directions? Because a helium balloon will go up in any country you're in.
True.
Yeah.
Because the magnetic field is in the middle, so it goes out to every way, no matter where you are.
So you think it's a
spherical.
magnetic field that's pushing up the air?
I mean, it's like the gravity is like goes all like to like it goes all in. It like collects in the center.
But gravity as a pull is just a theory. It doesn't exist. It's never been measured. That force down has never been measured. No, if you rotate, you'll fly off of it. So if you
So-
the fact is, an upwards push of the Earth wouldn't work on a globe because it would mean the Earth will have to be expanded and it would just explode.
So do you think the Earth is flat?
So the Earth is not flat; it's level. So the Earth is a level plane, and we're all standing on top of it, and it's pushing up in one direction. So we're all.
How can the Earth be level?
Wait,
How can the Earth be leveled if it's round?
Wait. So you
But
don't-
it's not
do
round,
you
that's the
think-
fact.
Do you think Earth is a sphere?
No, it's not a sphere, 100%. It's a level extended
square?
plane. It's a level extended plane. So the surface we all stand on, we're on top of everyone's standing on top of the Earth, like on top.
But when you
How do you
look at it, from
How
a-
do you explain when you reach a certain elevation, you can kind of see the Earth's curve?
The Earth's curve. Okay, so
How do you
here
explain that?
I'll show you. So
he prepared.
yeah.
Oh my.
So the only place you're ever
God.
gonna see curvature of the Earth is first through images like this. So NASA claims to take these images, and they call them images, not photographs, because they're all CGI. They're composite.
I have a question.
Yes.
What about when there is a?
So
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So when there's, I'm sorry if I butchered the definition,
No,
but like a solar eclipse, why do we see our reflection on the moon?
A circular,
round?
yeah. So I don't know the exact reason why that happens because nobody actually knows what the luminaries actually are. So the
Luminaries?
the lights in the
Oh,
sky.
right.
So nobody knows exactly what they are. They claim to know that there are other planets and all that, but that's just concepts.
I have a question then.
Yes.
So if you look in a telescope and you see like Saturn,
Sure.
What are we seeing then?
We're seeing something in the ceiling.
You think that that's artificial?
The ceiling, yeah, we have a.
So what do you
ceiling is the Earth is being physically contained
Well, I have a new
by a
question.
barrier. So we have a ceiling in my opinion.
What reason do
What's
they
a
have?
ceiling mean? Like someone
Like the roof, like it's a creation. This
then
place is a creation.
what
100%.
reason do they
So you
have
think there's
to
a
do
roof up
that?
there? That's like.
We can escape the Earth. No, it's not flat. I don't know what the container looks like,
So
but we're inside the
what
container,
about the
which
people
is
like,
Earth.
like the things that go into the space?
Oh, that's all made up. So
Wait,
all
wait.
astronauts are lying about
So
going
wait.
to space. 100%.
Wait, for real?
Yep, 100%.
So
So here, let me show you.
Wait, what
let, me
about
answer, let me answer this question real quick because you said, well, what about when we see the curvature when we go high, right?
Let's
Are you
see.
guys familiar with the GoPro camera, the fisheye lens?
Yeah.
So it warps
We
horizontal
got 20
lines.
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So this is what the horizon looks like with the GoPro, but without a GoPro, it's always horizontal. The horizon.
What about the
Is it possible
stratosphere,
those
though?
are just at different levels,
No, because
different elevations?
yes. But here's the thing. Look, if we elevate 20 miles in the sky, the horizon's always horizontal. And the highest human beings have ever actually gone physically, it's like 25 miles up.
Question.
Yes.
So have you ever seen the experiment where the guy flashes a light? You know, like the guy who's flashing a
yeah.
light through the thing.
Yeah, and he, like, holds it
asks
above his
to see
head.
a person who's a certain distance away to see it, and he doesn't see it. How do you explain that?
Yes. So if I shine a laser through water, is it going to go straight?
No, it's gonna bend.
Yeah, because of refraction.
Yeah, refraction.
So we have refraction and we have a limit of perspective as well. So what happens is when they do these laser experiments to measure for curvature, it's a faulty experiment, because you're not going to get a conclusive answer because the light's going to bend, right? So there is a better test to do to see
Wait,
if
I
there's
have a
curvature.
question, sorry.
Yeah, there's
Can I
no worries.
interrupt?
No worries.
What reason does the government or NASA have to lie to us about that? They claim it's spherical,
Yes.
but why are they doing
Okay,
that?
I'll come back to that question.
Okay,
Remind
yeah.
me. Let me just go over the better measurement of the Earth.
Yeah.
So you guys know the radius of the Earth by any chance?
Yeah.
Because we got to know what we're measuring if we're going to measure for a curve, right? So the radius of the Earth, they tell us, is 3,159 miles, which means, based on the calculation, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, which is a Pythagorean theorem, we can measure for how much curvature there should be based on that radius they're telling us. And it turns out there should be 8 inches per mile squared. What that means, in the first mile, there should be an 8-inch curve, second mile, 32 inches, and by the third mile, there should be 6 feet of curvature. So how do we measure for that curvature, right? There's a better way. If we went out to a giant lake that was filled with water 3 miles across, once that water is contained and at rest, and we build a level structure over that lake, that water is going to be parallel to the level structure, because when water is contained and at rest, it takes the shape of the container, but the surface always collapses and forms a level surface, which is horizontal. That's the definition of level, horizontal. So they're trying to tell us that every lake on Earth is bending 8 inches per mile squared, which is a physical impossibility for water to do that, especially on a lake.
Yeah, but there's like mountains and stuff that like.
Sure, the mountains, but the water, though, the water should bend because these images are depicting water bending. But when water's contained, like in a pool, the surface always is always horizontal.
Inconsistencies in like the surface.
Yeah, water's just
like
different surface levels. It could be at different altitudes. It can also be.
Sure,
Also
but it
like
never
the-
bends. Though.
like the sea
Uh,
bend.
But
one
it's
body
not
of
like
water,
water
the
bending,
surface will
with
never bend.
Gravity, it's equally pulling it.
Yes, but now you're going into a theory that has never been proven, a pulling force of gravity.
Well,
because the fact
what how do we prove that the Earth is not a sphere?
understanding how water behaves when contained and at rest. Like, for example, if you go out to any lake, any pool, it doesn't matter the size, the surface is always going to collapse. So the term sea level, you guys heard of the term sea? The oceans are level, meaning they're horizontal. That's where the term sea level comes from. They're trying to tell us that the oceans are...
just
Wait, but you just said that there was no form of
I have a
gravity.
question. Wait, I have something. So I've been on like a roller coaster.
Yes.
For example, where you go above like 300 feet.
Yes.
And you go up and curve over. Like you get to a certain point.
Sure.
When I was at that point, I could see the physical curve of the Earth. How
So,
do you explain that?
yeah, so this can happen at sea level. When you see a boat disappear over the curve, right? People think that's the hump of the Earth, right? That the boat's going over. Because you can't see past that, right? Past the horizon, right?
No, because it looks like it's going downwards, but it's
Yes,
just going
but the
forward.
fact is we have a limit of perspective, so we don't have infinite vision. So the
Yeah,
reason why
our
that
horizon ended?
Yes, the horizon is apparent, not physical. It's the limit of
How
perspective.
do you know that we have that our eyes can't see
Well, our eyes
beyond?
can't see a certain amount.
Yeah, it's not like.
So yeah, what happens is when that boat disappears over the curve, if you bring out a telescope or a zoom camera and you zoom into it, the boat appears back into view because it's only going out of perspective in a straight line.
Wait,
But
so
at
you
a
think-
point, won't it suddenly
so why
start
are
to
they doing
disappear?
Yeah, because even a telescope has a limit too.
Oh.
Yeah,
But
and
if
even
you're
if,
never going to actually see the curve, is that what you're trying to say?
because it doesn't exist.
Well, wait.
Because the horizon is only apparent. It's the limit of perspective. It's not a physical.
Okay, but you also said that gravity wasn't relative, right?
Gravity is not a pull of the Earth. It's an upwards push.
So what about if like you picked up one of those sticks, right? You dropped it.
Yes,
was
so
like
it
that.
appears that this goes down towards the Earth,
Yeah.
but it's the Earth pushing up, so the Earth crashes into this. This doesn't crash into the Earth.
Wait,
That's why
so
there's no
why
force.
are they lying to us?
Yes, I'll go back to that question. So,
Yes.
so I'm not the one lying, so I don't know 100% why they're lying, but they're, in my opinion, they're doing it basically to basically dumb people down in a way so that people are more easily controllable. So it's about controlling our mind, in other words, so that they can control our
Wait, so
actions.
I have a question. You think
Yes.
the Earth is flat?
It's not flat, it's level.
So you don't think it curves or a sphere?
Over 95%, yeah, no, here's the thing. Over 95% of flat earthers online claim the Earth is motionless. So they
Is what, sorry?
motionless. So
Okay.
they deny the upwards push of the Earth. Why? Because when you release an object, they also claim that it gets
How do you
pulled
explain
down.
like day cycles, moon, sun, day, night?
Yeah,
How do you explain that?
Yeah, the sun's motion above the Earth. The sun is moving above us.
Well, then why do we see then? Why do we? So if you put on sunglasses and look at the sun, it's a sphere.
Yeah, so the
why
moon,
is that?
again, nobody knows exactly what these lights are, the moon, the sun, and the stars, but people make assumptions about it to reinforce a
Wait,
model
you think
like
the
globe
sun
Earth.
was made by the government?
No, the sun is a natural
But you
thing.
said there's a
But if
ceiling.
that's
It's a star.
if that's spherical,
Yeah, it
then
was
why
created
do
by
we not
God,
have-
if anything.
Why,
a ceiling.
No, well, this whole reality was created by a God. I don't know what that God
Well,
is.
yeah,
though. Yeah, it's just a creation.
well, I have a
100%.
question. If you think the sun is real and we can look at it and see it's spherical, then why do? Then
Yeah.
how do we come to the conclusion that this is not spherical?
So the moon, we see a circle, right?
Yeah, we're in
We're
like
having a
this
conversation.
science
So
thing.
would you
Yes.
guys agree if you're just seeing this side, it looks like a circle, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Does that mean this is a sphere?
not necessarily.
Yeah, because if you see the side of it, it's not a sphere. It's just. So how do we know when we're looking at the moon? Because we only see one side of it. How do you know that it's a sphere?
Well, I mean, I believe that we've been around.
I'm
it.
glad you used the word belief because again, it comes down to faith.
I mean, yeah, you're
Yeah.
entitled to your opinion, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is not my opinion. This is facts. How water
okay.
behaves, and then the
You
upwards.
believe that it's facts.
Well, it's facts. You could
I
say
know,
I
but
believe.
some people could have different opinions, and
So
they
you have a
believe
belief.
it's fact.
You believe what you were told, which it's just fine. Just like any religion that has a priest, people just believe the priest about what you know. The heliocentric model. The
But how were
model-
you able to prove this?
Or how do?
physically?
How were you able to, like, scientifically?
Yeah, understanding how water behaves, for example, and understanding what's required for buoyancy. In order for a balloon or anything buoyant to get pushed up, it needs an external force to push it up.
Okay, but don't
so
you
the
think
Earth
the
is
people,
pushing up.
Don't you think the people at the space station or all those people who are up in space
Yes.
as we speak, don't you think that they see the world as a sphere or?
Wait,
They're
I have a
lying.
question. How
I
do
hate
you
to say it,
explain
astronauts
orbiting?
are all
How do you
lying.
explain orbiting Earth? Like when there's a satellite that orbits Earth, how do you explain that?
So if there's anything above us that's orbiting, it's just circling above you.
Do you also think that the
So
Earth
nothing's
moves?
floating above.
But you don't. If it was circling above us at all times, we would be able to see it at all times.
No, because we have
Okay.
perspective. So if it goes far away from you, eventually you lose it due to perspective.
Do you think the Earth
Then it
moves?
would come back, so
Yeah.
you could see it.
Yeah, you think it moves up? Remember?
Yeah, you think the Earth does move though, correct?
So the Earth is pushing up. Yes, that's what gravity is. It's the upwards push of the Earth. So it's like the Earth is like a giant elevator, and we're inside of it, and we're stuck to it because it's pushing up against us. We're not being pulled down. That magical pulling force they claim exists, even flat Earthers claim that, doesn't exist. So
Can I
this-
ask where
yes.
you found like this idea?
The
Where
information.
where do you
I came
come
up,
to this conclusion?
yes. So I came across this information 10 years ago, believe it or not, and I didn't come across the upwards push of the Earth until like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So that's the number one sensor thing.
Where did you find it out though? Like, what
Well,
source?
some people started presenting it to me online, like well,
Online.
yes, and then I had
Like online forums, like
Reddit videos and stuff like that.
Reddit, Facebook.
But I had to test it for myself and
Wait,
understand
so-
it for myself. So I understand physics, basic physics of water, for example, and buoyancy, and that's enough to debunk.
But
the
if you do get the chance to go to, yeah, I'll let you go.
Yeah.
Wait, so yeah, you found it
Hold on,
online
hold on,
like
hold on, hold on,
communities?
hold on.
Wait,
What?
so how do you explain that? Like, you know how you go on a plane, right? There's
Yes.
like this screen. It says like your destination. They go in a curved line because like the sphere is
Yes.
like the Earth is a sphere, or like as is a sphere.
So-
how do you explain that?
Yeah. So what you're seeing in the airplane when you're flying, it's just a projection. So it's just a map. They could do whatever they want with it to distort
Well,
it. how
you've
to-
been
but
experiencing it.
no. But I don't know if you guys knew the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and airplanes follow that because to save fuel, they fly in straight lines and they fly level. Meaning airplanes don't bend their nose down to go around a curve.
So you're saying the projection is just a lie?
Yes.
But they do have to go on a certain projection or
No, they
trajectory because
yes, they follow a
Wait, I have a
GPS, but they
question.
fly in a straight line level.
I have a question.
They don't curve down or curve left or right. They fly in a straight line from point A to point B. They do sometimes make turns, obviously, to adjust where they're going, but they never curve down. Airplanes don't curve down. The ironic thing is, airplanes actually have their nose slightly up when they're flying level. They have their nose pointed slightly up, and in my opinion, if they don't, the Earth will just crash into it. So they're kind of escaping the Earth to maintain level flight
because of gravity.
because gravity is an upwards push. Yes.
I have a question. If I brought a telescope, for
Yes.
example, right here,
Yes.
and I pointed it at Saturn, and you could see the ring around it, and you looked in it, you would deny what you're seeing, or
No.
what would you think?
So I would say no different than if you put like a little light in your ceiling and stick it, and then you just look at it. You're looking at a light in the sky, in the ceiling.
So what do you think like other planets are?
I don't know what they are. I think they're just luminaries. People would use them for navigation back in the day. So I think they're just points of reference.
But like, what are they?
I don't know what they are.
But you've been in a
they're
plane.
light. I don't know what. Nobody knows what light is in reality.
But
Like
you've
what is
been-
light? It's not even matter. Light's not even matter. You know. So nobody knows what light is.
But you've been in a plane and you've seen the curve.
No, I've seen the horizon, which is the limit of my perspective. Yeah, and it's horizontal. The horizon's always horizontal, unless you're looking through fisheye lens like this, that curved horizontal lines.
I think we have to go, but it was
No
great
worries.
meeting you.
Here, let me give you my channel.
What's your Twitch channel?
Here, you take
Oh,
that.
it's YouTube. Cool.
Oh, appreciate. Here you go. You guys can share that. Appreciate the chat. And yeah, take care.
Oh yeah. By the way.
Well, before you guys go, real quick,
Yeah.
why do you guys believe the Earth is a globe? What's the number one proof?
Images, research,
Okay.
all this.
Scientists.
So consensus.
Gravity.
Hearsay. Yeah, that's not really scientific.
Well,
though.
gravity is a clear observation that there's an equator that we have to respect that the world is a globe.
Well, again, gravity as a pull is just a theory, though. They even admit it in the mainstream. It has never been proven. But yeah, it's an upwards push, though. Gravity is an upwards push of the Earth. That's the reality. But yeah, no worries.
All right, well, thank you for your
Yeah,
time.
no
Thank you
worries.
for your
Take care.
time.
All right.
We're that way.
God damn. Pretty good conversations today. Pretty good conversations today. Can't complain. Cannot complain. All right, 22 more minutes. And then we are gonna call it. Yeah, it's always consensus or images, you know. Like people can't fathom that we're being lied to at a mass scale, and then that's enough reason to deny physics, in other words, and just to continue believing in the globe, for example. So again, consensus, images, you know, are the two main reasons, you know. And gravity being a pull, again, believe it or not, even people always go back to, well, gravity's pulling, and that's why water bends, and that's why, you know, things fall, right? Because it's a pull, you know. And this is where the motionless flat earthers are running in circles with the globe earthers, you know, talking about nonsense. The number one proof that debunks the globe earth is the fact that the earth is pushing up, because you can't have a globe earth pushing up. You can't, because up is relative in every direction away from the center point of this ball. So you can't have the earth pushing up against your feet so that you're stuck to it if it was a ball. It's physically impossible. So that's where these motionless flat earthers, for some reason, they deny to see that, because they're completely brainwashed as well. Again, I'm not saying that to talk shit. I'm not trying to spread hate. It's just a fact. You know, people that believe that objects accelerate down, it's, again, no different than the globe earth, where you require the earth to pull in order to even have a globe earth concept. Because the fact is, again, if the earth is pushing up, it can only push up in one direction. The earth can only move in one direction through space at a time. If it moves in multiple 360 degrees or multiple directions at the same, it will rip itself apart. The fact is, the earth and everything in nature can only move in one direction at the same time. Sure, you can turn something, like if you move something and then turn it, but guess what? You're still moving it in one direction when you're turning it. It's moving in one direction through space. Even if you change that direction, it's still one direction. You know, the earth cannot move multi-directional at the same time. That's where the upwards push of the earth destroys the heliocentric model. Hey.
So how do I see if I'm smarter than a 5th grader?
What grade are you in, if I don't mind me asking?
8th grade.
8th grade? Yeah. I have two very easy questions just to see if you could get them. So here I have 3 box trucks. They're completely sealed. They're all on a level surface, and they all have an apple hanging from a string. The only difference between these 3 trucks is that one is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
At rest?
At rest, yeah.
What do you mean at rest?
It's not moving, it's just parked.
Oh.
Which one's not moving? What truck is not moving?
This one?
Yeah, you got it. Pretty good. How'd you know?
Oh, because it's not swinging side to side.
Exactly. So which one's accelerating forward? What truck is accelerating forward?
This one? Well, it depends on the way the wind into them?
No, well, inside the truck, that there's no wind. You know.
Okay, yeah, so in
It
this
is A. You got it. Yeah. How did you know it was A?
Well, because when you move forward, it tilts backwards.
Yeah, the apple appears to tilt back, but it's just being left behind.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you got it. Pretty good. All right, so one more question, and let's see if you get it. So this one is the same thing, but instead of an apple, is a helium balloon. So out of these three, which one is at rest?
And how is the helium balloon attached to the truck?
With tape.
With
It's
tape.
tape. The string is taped to the bottom of the truck. This one obviously is tied, but yes. Which one would you say is at rest from these three? What truck is at rest?
This one.
Yes, because the balloon's not moving. Same reason as the 1st. Perfect. Now for this second one, which one is accelerating forward? What truck is accelerating forward? I'll give you a hint. So the balloon is buoyant, right? It's floating in the air in there.
Yeah.
This is also buoyant because it's floating in water. So this ball represents the helium balloon, right? Right now it's at rest, so it's vertical, just like B. I'm gonna accelerate it in this direction, see what happens to the ball. What direction does the ball go? Did you see what happened?
Backwards.
No. See what direction the ball moves initially, right? When I first accelerate it, what direction does the ball go initially?
Oh, it moves forward.
It moves forward, yes. So out of these three, what truck is accelerating forward?
This one.
It is C, yeah. There's two reasons why this happens. Do you know why?
No.
So the first reason is air is more dense than helium. So there's a density difference. Same thing with water. This water is more dense than this ball. That's why it floats. The second reason is a force. So you need a force to push the air, and then the air is able to push the helium because it's more dense. Same thing with the water. When I accelerate it this way, the water pushes the ball because the water is more dense. But you need a force as well, aside from the density difference. So yeah, you got it. You're pretty smart, man. So here, I'll give you my channel, and you can check out some of the conversations that I have with other students here and even professors about this. And here, you can check it out. Here's my YouTube channel. Yeah, you can take that with you. I appreciate the chat. Yeah, you're smarter than the fifth. Huh?
How does this relate to fifth graders?
Well, because since you already understand what happens, right, with a helium balloon in a container, here, let me show you this. I recreated that experiment inside a cargo van, you know. So what direction did I accelerate this container? To the right or to the left? Based on what we just seen.
To the right.
Yes, you got it. A fifth grader is able to answer this question too as well. Once I present. Yeah, so it's pretty basic. It's elementary physics, that's why. All right, take care. Yeah, you got it. All right, what is it? 15 more minutes. Let's go. Let's try to get one more. Okay, I think I got two over here coming. Let's see. Alright, let me see if anyone else is in the chat just to say hi. Since it's a little bit slow right now, let me see. Alright. Oh, what's up, Nasi Fripples, Tamashi Tomo, Flat Smacking. Martin Allen, Salinellian, Stephanie. What's up, everyone, and everyone else watching? I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been great today. It's been great. Couldn't have asked for a better day of conversations, to be fair, you know? That last group, there was like 5 of them. Oh my God, they were a little defensive, but I like it. I like it. What the hell? Oh, I was like, where's my top to my waters over here? You guys are back. Yeah. Did you guys already tell him or no?
Huh?
Did you guys already tell him what it's about or no?
No, we haven't.
Okay, you want to give it a shot then?
Sure.
All right, cool. So here I have 3 box trucks. They're completely sealed. They're all on a level surface, and they all have an apple hanging from a string.
Got it.
So the only difference between these 3 box trucks is that one is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
Is that rest?
At rest. You got it. How'd you know?
How'd I know? Because the apple is center of the truck.
You got it. Perfect. Which one's accelerating forward?
Accelerating forward is this one?
Yes. How'd you know that?
Because the force of it going forward is dragging the apple backwards.
Yeah. Well, the apple's being left behind.
Yeah.
Exactly. Due to inertia. You got
Yeah.
it. All right. Pretty good. Yeah. All right. Second one. Pretty similar, but instead of an apple, is a helium balloon. So out of these 3, which one is at rest? Yes, and it's for the same reason as the first. You got it. Which one's accelerating forward?
I'd say this one.
Okay, let me help you out a little bit with this one, because look, this is a buoyant object, right? It's floating in the air inside, obviously. This is also a buoyant object because it's floating in water. So this ball represents the balloon. So right now it's at rest, and obviously it's vertical. I'm gonna accelerate it. If you want to step back so you can see it. What direction does it move? I'm gonna go forward.
Move forward.
Yeah, exactly. So which one's accelerating forward from these 3? It is C. Now there's 2 reasons why it moves forward. Why do you think? Same thing with this one. There's 2 reasons why it happens. So the first reason is air is more dense than helium, just like water's more dense than this ball. The second reason is a force. So you need something to push. So when I accelerate the container in that direction, all that air that's inside the truck is also being forced or pushed in that same direction. And because air is more dense than helium, the air pushes the balloon with it. Same thing with this, yeah. So that's
because the balloon's in the truck.
It's in the truck,
Yes.
exactly. So the air is able to push it in the direction of the force. You got it. All right, perfect. So I recreated this experiment inside a cargo van. So it's basically both questions in one. So I want to see if you can. Here it is. If you can get this one. It's a little bit. You can kind of see it, right? The balloon and the apple. So what direction did it accelerate? To the right or to the left?
Which one?
This container. It's both questions in one because I put an apple in there and a helium balloon, and then I accelerated. But what
Backwards.
You think I went this way? Yeah, actually, I went forward because that's the direction the balloon got pushed. So the air got pushed, and then the air was able to
you're
push.
tricking me.
No, that's the
Yeah,
reality.
no, I got it.
So
I
the
didn't
apple,
look at it hard
so the
enough.
apple just got left behind because the truck moved
But
forward.
the balloon went forward. Yes.
Yes, perfect. So here's a bonus question. It looks like the apple and the helium balloon are moving away from each other. That's what it looks like. But in reality, only one is moving away from the other. So only one got pushed and the other one didn't. So out of the apple and the helium balloon, which one actually got pushed? And which one moved away from the other?
The balloon got pushed.
Yes.
And the apple moved away.
And the apple got left behind. So the balloon only moved away from the apple. The apple didn't move away from the balloon. So that was the force. All right, one more question before you go. If I have a helium balloon here on Earth and I release it, what direction does it go?
Up.
There's 2 reasons why that happens. Do you know why?
Because the helium is lighter than the air.
Yes, that's the first reason. There's a density difference. What's the second reason?
The second reason is helium rises.
Yes, because it's less dense than the air, but you need a force.
I know.
You need a push. So in this scenario, the truck pushed the air and then the air pushed the helium. Just like right here, the container pushed the water and then the water pushed the ball. What's pushing up the air here on Earth to be able to push up a helium balloon? What's creating the force?
The atmosphere?
Yeah, the atmosphere is the air. So
Well,
what's pushing up on the atmosphere then? What's creating that force to push up the atmosphere to be able to push up helium balloons?
Can't think of it.
It's gravity.
Yeah.
It's the force. So, but here's the thing. Gravity as a pulling force has never been measured or detected. So it actually is just a theory. So it doesn't actually exist. The fact is the force of the Earth is an upwards push, not a downwards pull. So right now the Earth is pushing up against your feet. And that's upwards push is what's pushing up the air. And that's why air is able to push up helium balloons. So when you release an object into free fall, everybody believes that this crashes down to the Earth, but it's the Earth that crashes into this object. Because the Earth is constantly moving up like an elevator. That's the fact.
What about the opposite pole of the Earth if the Earth is moving up?
So why you're stuck to it, you're saying? Because you have inertia.
Why is the people in China or whatever?
Yes. So that's my next point. So you believe the Earth is a ball, right?
Yeah.
So up is relative on a ball. Yes. If you're standing here, up is this way. But if you're in China down here, up is this way.
Yeah.
In every direction away, it's up. If we could prove physically that the Earth is not pulling you down and it's actually pushing up, and that's what physics shows, how can the Earth push up in every direction at the same time? That's a good question. It wouldn't work from a globe. That would mean the Earth will have to be expanding and it'll just explode. So the fact is, the Earth is just an extended level plane pushing up in one direction. So everybody's up is the same. So again, up is not relative, it's singular. So China is not underneath your feet like you think, it's just across the way. So that's the, yeah, so that's,
interesting.
yeah. So that's the number one proof to debunk the globe Earth is the fact that the force of the Earth is an upwards push, not a downwards pull. Right?
All right.
So before you go, why do you believe the Earth is a ball?
That is well, the Earth. I believe the Earth is a ball because that's what I just believe. That's what I've been told. And that's
Exactly. That's an honest answer. But yeah.
And that's whatever I've read stuff on it, and
But a lot of people read a lot of stuff from the Bible and they just believe it because it's just faith-based. So the globe Earth, the heliocentric model, is just a religion. Physics here on Earth, the natural physics and science here on Earth, proves that the globe Earth is physically impossible. So again, you're only going to be able to read it on text, no different than a religious person that only reads through text, you know, about their religion, pretty much. So,
alright. Well, I'm confused.
oh, fair enough. But yeah, the globe Earth doesn't exist, pretty much. It's just a level plane.
I don't
pushing
know
up.
if you changed my point, but that's very interesting.
No, yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take care, man. Have a good one. Yeah, I liked how he got to that question before I did. Well, if it is pushing up, how can it push up down in China? That means he's thinking. And he's pretty young to be able to come up with that question right off the bat. You know, that means, you know, he's, again, when you're young too, you haven't gone through the indoctrination as much. So you tend to think a little bit more critical, right? And that's what he did. He literally asked that question before I did, which is good because I was literally where I was leading to, obviously. And yeah, you know, and yeah, it was pretty good, pretty good. And that was the first high school students that walked by. I guess they brought their friend. And it's a good thing they didn't tell him what it was about, because then it would have spoiled the whole presentation. But yeah, it was pretty good. You know, again, it's been pretty good today. I knew it was gonna be good here. It's a lot of people here, regardless, even though it's summer. So yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Alrighty. Again, if anybody just joined, anybody's new, again, and if you would like to see me do this more often, again, I would like to do this more often, more consistently. You know, you can, you know, support my channel now. Here are the links, if you guys can see them right there. The top one is my Cashapp, and the bottom one is my PayPal. Again, anybody that wants to support what I'm doing and enable me to do this more often, you know, you can support me like that, or support the cause at the end of the day, you know, and basically enable me to do this more often and more consistently, you know. And honestly, you know, that's the goal at the end of the day. You know, we do have an economy that does constrain us, but again, at the end of the day, money is just a tool. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a tool. So the way I see it is, let's use this tool against them, right? But again, we'll see. Again, for those of you that would like to push this forward and don't have the means to do so, maybe you're too occupied in your job, you don't have the free time, maybe you live somewhere in the middle of nowhere where you can't really speak to people. You know, for these people that would like to contribute, you can contribute to this cause, you know, by helping me out and enabling me to do this more often, you know. So yeah, again, at the end of the day, coming out to do this, you know, it's not free. You know, it costs me gas money, it costs me parking money, you know, my time as well, which, you know, I have to take a day off work to do this. So again, you know, I lose money doing this. So at the end of the day, you know, for those that want to contribute, you know, I'm giving out that option, I guess, for those that would like to. So again, I'm not expecting much, if any, you know. I'm still gonna do this as much as I can, you know, but yeah, it will be nice to do this, to be able to do this more often and more consistently, right? Obviously, there's nothing more that I would want to do with my free time, but I don't have free time, you know, if I have to work as well, and I have to, you know, work a full-time job, you know, especially living here, you know. So yeah, it's there, you know. Some people did ask, you know, would ask like, hey, how can we help you out? How can we donate? How can we pay for your parking? People have asked, so there it is, you know, for at least for those people, you know, right? And yeah, I mean, this is not gonna move forward just sitting around and at home, you know, and just speaking in an echo chamber, for example, spreading nonsense, spreading misinformation. You know, you're doing the opposite when you do that, right? So again, if you want to push this forward, we got to come out in the real world during the day when people are out, You know, especially if you want to come to a university, you got to come during the week. You know, because obviously Saturdays and Sundays, I'm sure it's way more empty, obviously, right? So yeah, you're gonna have to take time off work, you know, to come out and do this at a university. So again, it is what it is. You know, I have to put my ego aside, and for those of you that want to help, you know, it is what it is. There it is. So there's 5 more minutes. See if we can get one more. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks for supporting. Even just by watching, numbers apparently matter to people. Yeah, I agree, but the sad part is that even if a lot of people did watch my channel, you know, my channel's froze at I got 300 views. You know, 300-400 views, and it's been like that for like the last 2 years since I started talking about the upwards push of the earth. You know, before that, my videos would get like close to 1,000. I still think they were being censored low-key, but they're definitely censoring the numbers even more now. You know, where it doesn't get past that. You know, even though I speak to a bunch of people say they share it. You know, but yeah, it is what it is. The numbers does influence people, but unfortunately, you know, they can mess with the numbers. You know, they can change the numbers and, you know, make it seem like a channel is not gaining traction and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's not about that anyway. It's about sharing this information with new people. And that's exactly what I'm doing. In my opinion, that's exactly what we need to push this forward. That's the only way. It's literally the only way, is by sharing this with new people. Again, they can deny it at first. I don't expect people to jump on board, but at least planting the seed of doubt, right, for the globe, that can lead to an understanding after, which is at the end is the ultimate goal, is for people to understand what they believe and what's actually true, right? So yeah, let me just go over the chat one more time, see if there's any questions, any feedback, you know, before I call it. I'm gonna go ahead and put the links in the description for those of you that just want to click a link. I'm gonna be doing that. Apart from this, I'm gonna be putting the donation links in the description. So for those of you that would like to contribute, I'm gonna do that as well. So just a heads up. Yeah, let me just see if there's any. Hamashitomo, they brought their star player to take you down. No, yeah, they did. Yeah. He obviously seemed a bit more reasonable, like a little bit more focused, and you know, gave pretty good answers. Obviously, you know, but I get it. You could be a physics professor, you could be an astrophysicist, you could have a master's degree in math and physics. It doesn't matter who you are, how many letters you have after your name. The fact is, the Earth is not a globe, and you're never going to be able to prove it. Again, it doesn't matter how many degrees you have, how many letters in front of your name you have. You can't prove something that's not real. You cannot physically prove something that's not real, and that's just reality, you know. So it is what it is, and yeah, it's a good try. Martin Allen, your time is appreciated. No, yeah, I appreciate that you appreciate what I'm doing. Again, I appreciate all the support, all the people that watch me, that share my channel. Believe it or not, you know, I do appreciate it. Again, without real people like you guys, and honest people like you guys, this will never move forward. If nobody was honest with themselves, this will never move forward. So the fact that you guys are here, you guys watch, you guys support, you know, it shows that you guys are at least honest, and it shows that there is some hope. You know, there is common sense, obviously, you know. So yeah, I do appreciate that, and yeah, thanks. All right, let me see. Gotta get some shade right here. No, yeah, people saying, what about the other planets being round, and well, the moon is round, right? So I came up with a good answer to that. Like, for example, look, here we go. When you're just looking at this, right, it's round. Look at that. Oh shit, there you go. It's round. Look at that. When you're just looking at this side of this container, right? Look at that. It's round. Does that mean that this is a sphere? Not only that, to jump from that, even if it was a sphere, to say that the Earth is a sphere is a second illogical conclusion. But let's stick to the first one. How do people assume that because just you see a circle in the sky, you assume that you're looking at a solid sphere, right? Again, that's just an assumption, and then they jump from that assumption to another assumption that the Earth must be a sphere too. So it's like an assumption on top of an assumption, and they think that that proves something. Again, I'm not trying to talk shit or anything. I'm just trying to pick the logic. Again, this is a circle right here. That doesn't mean this is a sphere. Look at that. It's a cylinder. You see that? Just because you see a circle in the sky, that doesn't mean you're looking at a sphere, especially when we only see one side of it. So I think that's a good point to make to people when they bring up that, the sun is a sphere. How do you know it's a sphere, first of all? And second, it's completely irrelevant to what the ground is. Because I could put a circle in the ceiling of your house and you look at it, or even a sphere, like a disco ball, right? It's shiny and everything, and it reflects light, right? Just like the moon supposedly reflects light, right? Well, again, you put a disco ball in your ceiling, do you assume that your floor is also a disco ball? Do you assume that you're standing on a sphere inside your house when you look up at a disco ball, right? Or the dance floor, right? In that sense, is the dance floor a sphere because there's a disco ball above? Of course not. So again, it's just illogical, and in every way, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Again, when in images, it's like they admit these images are photoshopped, and they don't have real photographs of the Earth as a ball. And even if they claim they were, guess what? They're lying. Why? Because how do I know that? Because that defies physics. Just like if I showed you an image of me flying, or an image of me walking on water, and even a video of me flying or walking on water, you know that's not true. You know that's a lie, because that defies physics. Again, no different than the globe Earth images. They defy physics. So that's how I know. It's not a belief. I know a lot of people like to think, you believe you know. That's funny. Like, no, there's a difference between belief and knowing. Maybe I should have highlighted that, to the student that brought that up. Do you know the difference between a belief and a knowing? Again, a belief, it's something that you just take on face value. It's something that you haven't confirmed for yourself, and you just have faith that it's true. Again, that's a belief. Something that you just have faith in. A knowing is something that you know. For example, water can be compressed, or steel is stronger than wood, and fire burns, and again, these are knowings. If you fall off a building, the Earth is gonna crash into you, and you're gonna end up like a pancake on the floor. These are knowings. If you step off of a building, you're not just gonna float. You know what I'm saying? If you slash a knife on, if you jump in front of a moving train.
Are you ready, or are you making an intro, or can I do it?
You want to do an intro? Sure. I have two very easy. You guys want to try it? Yeah, they left you hanging.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, real quick. I'll do it real quick. 'Cause I was about to call it, but yeah, this will be the last one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, here I have the first question. Here, I have 3 box trucks. They're completely sealed. They're all on a level surface, and they all have an apple hanging from a string. The only difference between these 3 box trucks is that one is at rest, one is accelerating forward, and one is accelerating in reverse. So out of these 3, which truck is at rest?
Okay, well, first thought, I would say B.
Okay.
But...
yeah, that's the answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, why would you say B, though?
Because if it's at rest, like, the apple would be in the middle.
Yeah.
Not moving.
Exactly, it's that simple.
And if it's going forward, it would be A, and C would be...
reverse.
Yeah.
Yes, how do you know this is moving forward, though?
Because when it's going forward, I feel like the acceleration makes the rope go back. I don't know how to explain that, but I think that just makes sense.
So the simple explanation is that when you accelerate forward, the apple gets left behind due to inertia. So the apple is just being left behind. So the apple didn't move through space, the truck did. So the truck changed its position, and it looks like the apple swung back, but it just got left behind. attracted to
Oh,
energy.
wow.
So yeah, that's you got it.
Oh,
Perfect.
okay.
So the second question. There's only 2 questions.
Okay.
So similar to the apple, but instead of an apple, it's a helium balloon inside the truck. So out of these 3, which one is at rest?
Helium balloon at rest?
So yeah, which truck is at rest? It's the difference between the apple now is a helium balloon inside. So which one is at
Well,
rest?
I would say B.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's for the same reason as the first.
Yeah.
Because it's not moving. It's vertical. All right. So which truck is accelerating forward now?
Accelerating forward.
Yeah, what truck? Okay, let me help you out a little bit with this one.
Okay.
So this balloon is buoyant because helium is buoyant, right? This ball is also buoyant because it's in water. The water is more dense than the ball, so it's buoyant, right? If you want to move back a little bit to see, look, right now it's vertical, and I'm going to accelerate it and pay attention what direction the ball moves.
That way.
Yes.
So it'd be C.
Yes, so
Oh,
C is
okay.
accelerating forward. You got it.
Oh,
so there's 2
wow.
reasons why that happens. Do you happen to know why?
Is it because of the helium or different gas or something?
Yes, so helium is less dense than air. So there's a
Oh.
density difference. Yes, but that's the first reason. What's the second reason why the balloon moves forward when I accelerate it?
Maybe because the string is from the bottom, or
Well, no, but the second reason is a force. So you need a push. So when I accelerate the container in this direction, all the air that's inside is also being forced or pushed in that same direction. And because air is more dense than helium, the air is able to push the balloon with it. So the air pushes the balloon, but the truck pushes the air.
Oh.
Same thing with this. The container pushes the water, and then the water pushes the ball because the water is more dense. So the buoyant object always follows the direction of the force. So yeah. So here, I recreated this experiment, both of these questions in one. So I want to see if you can get it right. So,
okay.
So this is to see if you're truly smarter than a 5th grader. Okay, so here, it's a little bit dim because it's kind of, but can you see the helium balloon and the apple?
Yeah.
What direction did it accelerate this van? To the right or to the left?
To the right.
Yes, you
Okay.
got it, because that's the direction the balloon got pushed.
Yeah.
So then the apple just got left behind when the truck moved forward.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you got it. So one bonus question here. So it looks like the apple and the helium balloon are moving away from each other. That's what it looks like. But in reality, only one moved away from the other. So in other words, only one got pushed and the other one didn't move at all. So out of the apple and the helium balloon, which one actually got pushed? Which one moved? And which one didn't move?
The apple?
No.
Oh, the balloon.
The balloon got
Yay.
pushed forward and the apple got left behind. So the balloon moved away from the apple. The apple didn't move away from the balloon.
Oh, wow.
So that's the reality. So one last question before you go. If I have a helium balloon here on Earth and I release it, what direction does it go? Because a helium balloon here on Earth is
Up?
buoyant. Yes, it goes up.
Okay.
There's 2 reasons why that happens. Do you happen to know why?
Gravity.
So that's one reason. Yes, you need a force. But what's the second reason?
Is it because it's going towards the gas that's in space, or like?
It's because helium is less dense than air.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you also need a force. So I don't know if you knew though, gravity as a pulling force.
interested?
Oh yeah, I'm interested. It's okay.
Yeah. So gravity as a pulling force is just a theory. I don't know if you knew that. So a downwards pull of object going down has never been measured or detected. That's why it's just a theory. So it doesn't exist, in other words. So the real force of the Earth is not a downwards pull, it's actually an upwards push. So right now the Earth is pushing up against your feet. It's not pulling you down towards it.
Oh wow.
Yes, and that upwards push is what's pushing up the air, and that's why air is able to push up helium balloons.
Oh.
Yeah, so here's the real reason why I'm doing this, just before you go. You believe the Earth is a ball, right?
Yeah.
So do you understand that on a ball, up is relative?
Yeah.
So if you're standing here, up is that way, but if you're standing down here, up is this way. And every direction away from the center is up on a ball, right? If we could prove that gravity is not a downwards pull of the Earth, but in fact is an upwards push, and physics shows us that, how can the Earth push up in every direction if it was a ball?
I'm not sure.
It would mean the Earth will have to be expanding. It would just tear itself apart. It would just explode. So in order for people to believe in the ball Earth theory, they first have to believe in the theory of gravity being a pull. Because if we could prove that it's the other way around, again, it wouldn't work. So that would be the number one proof to debunk the globe Earth, is the fact that gravity of the Earth is an upwards push, not a downwards pull. That means that the Earth is just an extended level plane pushing up in one direction. So we're all standing on top of the Earth, and it's just a level plane, not a ball. So China and Australia are not underneath your feet, they're just across the way.
Wow.
So that's the reality.
Wow.
So before you go, if I was to ask you respectfully, why do you believe the Earth is a ball?
Probably just because of online photos.
Fair enough. That's what they show you. But here, let me just show you these real quick. These are official NASA images, and they call them images because they're not real photographs.
Uh-huh.
In other words, they made them in a computer. They say they're composites. So it's basically CGI. All the images of the Earth as a ball from outer space are all cartoons. In other words, they don't exist. So again, these images defy physics. So they're not real. Yeah. Yeah. So do you have any questions about this subject?
No, but I'll definitely probably look into that. That's interesting.
Yeah, this is the number one proof. Do you want to hear the number 2 proof before you go? Or do you need to go?
I think I have to go.
Here,
That's
let me
okay.
give you my channel, and you can check it out.
Okay.
The 6 top proofs that debunk the globe Earth are inside. And
Okay.
on top of the number 1, which is that gravity is an upwards push of the Earth, not a downwards pull. And physics shows us that. So yeah, you can check that out. My channel's right there, and I talked to physics professors about this, astrophysicists, and nobody can prove a globe because it doesn't exist.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, you can check it out.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
That was really
Yeah,
interesting.
thank you. Appreciate that. All right, that was gonna be it for this one. Again, thanks for everyone that shows their support by watching the videos and sharing them, and just giving your input, at the end of the day, giving feedback. I do really appreciate all of that. And yeah, today was a great day. I appreciate to everyone that stopped and talked to me. Again, if you watch this in the future, my channel wouldn't be anything without people stopping, without you guys stopping and chatting with me. So again, thank you for everyone that stopped to have a chat with me. I really do appreciate it. This is the number 1 censored subject on the internet and on Earth by far. The majority of people believe in the bald Earth because, again, that's just what we were told as little children, and people just buy into it, right? It is the biggest religion on Earth because it's faith-based, and that is the reason, and it's the easiest to prove that the globe Earth lie. It's the easiest to debunk, and that is one of the reasons why it's the number 1 censored subject as well, because a child, a 5th grader, can understand the physics that it takes to debunk the globe Earth. So again, thanks again to everyone, and see you guys on the next one. Peace.